welcome to Occasionally Awesome. I'm Nick Youssef.
I'm Kevin Christy.
Did you like that new intro song, you guys? We hope you did. It came from a buddy of Kevin's.
My friend Travis Chatham was briefly in a band with my other high school friend Wes Hopper. And he cut up some of the songs to just put that little instrumental part that we could use in a loop in our intro. If you want to fuck with Travis's music, he's in a cover band called FM Radio.
Great name.
Yeah, so I know we were saying it's weird that someone else hasn't that was available. You can go to their website. It's www.coverbandforhire.com. They're called FM Radio. What was their catchphrase again?
It was I forgot.
It's like styles from all over the dials.
No, something like that.
Something like that.
It was every style from every dial.
Every style from every dial.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, so that's where that came from.
Yeah, thank you, Travis, for letting us use some of your music for our intro. So we'll probably have this as our music for
a minute,
like a month and a half. But send us stuff if you're in a band and have some music that's not like copyright protected, so we don't have to worry about our episodes being taken down. If you have something like that,
it can't be on iTunes.
Yeah, it can't be copyright protected. Pretty much. Something they can search for and remove. So if you have something similar to like what you just heard at the beginning of this, something like fun, catchy, rock and roll, it could be electronica-ish, rock and roll inspired, whatever, something like that. Send us what you got, and maybe we'll use it for the next round, round of episodes. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, Travis, for that. And then what day? My mind's all over the place because we're recording this before I even go to Kentucky, but this will come out after I get back. So right now, I'm in Las Vegas, pretty much, as you guys are listening to this. So it's hot. We're in the desert. I'm probably by a pool.
There's a Krispy Kremes in the Excalibur.
I'm probably there now, actually, eating a donut. So I'm playing Harrah's at the Improv at Harrah's all week, 21st to the 26th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Then the workshop show at the Comedy Store, July 29th. Joe Rogan confirmed for that, so he will be there. That show, Joe Rogan, Bobby Lee, Kevin Christy, Nick Thune. I'm hosting, probably leaving a name out or two. That show will sell out, so go to the Comedy Store's website, $5, get tickets. It'll be a good show. All the comics I just named doing brand new material. And then San Antonio the week after that at the LOL Comedy Club, me and Bobby Lee. And then this episode was fun that we just did.
Zapatos episode.
Yeah. The what?
That's shoes in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess it is.
Yeah. We talked sneakers with our friend Jerry Ferrara. This is our first 3-time guest, apparently.
Yeah. Our Dynasty guest.
Yeah. We talked sneakers and being a sneakerhead and what got him into sneakers, what sneakers he is super into, and what about it, like why we think it's like people get so fired up about them and where it came from. And it's actually pretty interesting because I think it has a lot to do with where you grew up, the income level you grew up, who was around, and it's really, I think it's like super environmental that has to do with what got people into that kind of stuff. So it's pretty fun. Yeah,
what culture you were if you grew up a sports fan, it's like you're going to know everything about every sports related shoe. If you were into skateboarding, there's the shoes for that. There's it's like a weird, interesting thing people get obsessed with.
It's a big subculture. It's actually one of the bigger subcultures, I think, right now in pop culture is sneaker collecting.
Yeah, it's a daily thing. You can throw on those shoes every day for months and be like, this is who I am, this is what I like.
It's basically a thing you can say about yourself every single day, which I always find interesting.
Yeah, whenever I get a new pair of shoes, I'm just like, I put them on, and I'm like, I'm going to sit up on a ledge, and someone's going to go like, dude, those are cool. What are those?
Yeah.
You hope that they do. And then you can have this whole conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jerry knows a shitload about Jordans. It's insane. It's great. Because, I learned so much stuff. But yeah, and then the Nice Kicks website. So there's a lot of cool information in this episode. He tells some cool stories, some fun stories about growing up, about, press tours and the fun, cool stuff he's gotten. So you get a whole range. And then you get a lot of knowledge about Jordans and other shoes, and then some cool websites and Instagrams to go to pretty much see everything that we were talking about. and stay up to date on like what cool shoes are coming out. That's pretty much that. We're not going to give away any more details. You're going to have to listen, suckers. Okay, and I think that does it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have fun with this episode that doesn't have a name yet, but it will by the time you click on the link. Bye.
Like,
you're our 3-ring guest.
A lot of people have like a lot of teams like go back to back.
Three's a dynasty.
But it's when you do 3.
It's a dynasty.
Yeah, it's a dynasty.
I mean, you're talking about the Cowboys, the Bulls. Like the Yankees have done like 3 out of 4. It's
Patriots?
a dynasty. Similar,
Yeah.
like 3 out of 4 sort of thing.
Are the
Dynasty.
Giants 3?
No.
What are the 2?
They've never gone back. Giants.
Not back to back, but like within like a.
You guys hate me already. It's ready to turn into a sports podcast.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you a sports-related question. Like,
Bring it.
How many before you start hating a team? You know, there's like a level of like, this is a dynasty. These guys are champions. They represent sports in America and competition.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but then after you get to like 5 or 6, you're like, I'm starting to get sick of these assholes.
People got sick of the Red Sox after a while. Like it was like when they got to like 2 or 3, it was like, all right, shut up.
Well, because in the case of the Red Sox, their whole identity changed. They went from 100 years of a cursed team that never won a World Series.
Lovable
That was their
loser.
identity. Yeah, they just loved wallowing in the fact that they've never won a World Series. Then they won 1. And people wearing the shirts, now I could finally die happy. Then they win 2, and then their identity then became, oh, we're the best now. You know?
Yeah.
They
Well, then they could get like really good players. They became like a great team to go to if you're like a free agent or whatever.
Right.
I just want what I wanted out of the Red Sox winning constantly.
Sox?
Yeah, is like Bill Buckner should have like a luxury suite.
It's never going to happen.
He should have like there should. I think they had him.
He could share it with Steve Bartman.
I don't know if they. Oh God, Bartman.
Still waiting for like Kevin James to play Steve Bartman in the biopic.
Bartman's kind of the only reason I care about like the Cubs winning is like let that guy in out of the cold.
And it's to answer your question, Nick. Usually, team wins a championship that's not your favorite team. You're kind of gunning for them the next year. Like fuck those guys. 2 in a row is around the time where it becomes everyone's on the same side of do not let them win 3 in a row. Like that's where it's like even like teams that get eliminated, like go beat the Spurs, for instance, in basketball kind of became that. And it's hard to hate them because they're the best run for like if you look at them as a business, they're the most well-run organization in all of sports.
Yeah.
They do it the right way.
Do you think people hate the Spurs because they won so much or because they're kind of boring?
Both. It's a combination of both. Like they win so much, they're boring.
They're too efficient. They're like a robot.
A lot of journalists don't love going to the San Antonio to cover the finals.
Right.
You know, they'd much rather go to Miami or LA.
Yeah.
Or
the whole thing's kind of dry.
They don't want to be on the Riverwalk covering the finals in June. They say apparently it could smell bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's just not a lot of like. I guess personality. He's like Tony Parker's all French and whatever.
Tim Duncan got hustled for like $12 million. I don't know if you read the story.
No.
By some shady business advice, and he's not even mad about it. He's like, you know, it was a bad business decision by me. Luckily, I have enough money. And now he's also still like playing for the veteran minimum. Like you would think, then he'd try and pull a Kobe. I'd be like, give me $20 million for 1 year as like my thank you. He still wants to win rings. He's taking like $3 million for this year.
Yeah.
Also, they could afford other players.
Wow.
Just out there winning champions.
That's a team player.
Looking like the Lorax.
He's a good dude.
I will tell my young son, if he needed a role model, if I ever had a young son, you look up Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like
but
that guy.
even the Admiral was like that. They were all just like quietly great.
Great segue
I love Dave Robb.
into sneakers.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Great segue into sneakers. So I went, and this is not a plug, but I went, there's a new shoe palace opened up at Melrose. We were talking about it before we got rolling. And they have what is this? Oh, boy. By the way, do you look at the colors? You're an artist, so
I love that pin. I bought it just because it was
colors
beautiful.
in the Spurs logo.
Oh, the Spurs logo.
Is that pink? Is that salmon? What
it's
is
salmon.
that?
When the Spurs got a new logo, got a new color scheme in the 90s, basically the entire world bugged out.
Bugged out.
You bought that hat just because it was great looking.
They were the first team to incorporate any sort of pinkish, like not masculine color into their
The Hornets
logo.
had
They were
teal.
next. Yeah.
And that, but
that Spurs logo predates the Hornets.
Yeah, they ushered in a new kind of color scheme situation.
Well, if we're here to talk a little bit about sneakers, so I go to the Melrose location of Shoe Palace, and I'm looking through, it's an amazing store. I'm looking through the stuff, and sure enough, they have the old school throwback David Robinson pumps. No one knows this. No, I mean, a lot of people, civilians don't know. Nike made a pump before Reebok.
Really?
David Robinson sneakers were high top, almost like how the Kobe's are. I don't know if you've ever seen the Kobe high tops that he plays in. They're not even high tops. They go up to the bottom of the knee almost. That's how high they are.
Right. Like military boots.
The Admirals kind of had that level high top, and they had a pump on the side.
Oh, yeah.
With the release on the back. I
right.
remember the first time, Billy Cox in Brooklyn. We used to always make fun of him. COX.
Yeah.
We always say, Billy Cox's mom. Billy Cox walked out with the with the white and neon yellow David Robinsons when they just came out. And he stepped onto this fucking schoolyard, and he reached down and started going, tss, tss, tss. He was like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And
He's going to fly.
All day long, we just kept pumping him up and releasing him. Pump him up, release him. And then Reebok pumps came out, and D. Brown and
I had the
Michael Chang.
I had the black top pumps.
I had those. Nick, you ever mess with pumps, Nick?
I can't remember if I actually had a pair when I was a kid or I just fantasized about them. And now when I look back, I'm like, I think I had them, right? Because I'd sit there and pump them and release.
The Michael
I don't
Chang
remember.
I would buy them.
They're hard to find.
I'd fuck with those right now.
You should. Those are hard
I'd get
to
a
find.
pair of those.
They're very hard to find.
You know what would be baller if you bought one for outside and then one for because you play the tennis?
I look them up once a month. They're not out there.
They're hard
right
to
now.
find.
They don't reissue them at all?
They did 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
It's been a while.
They went quickly.
Yeah.
The worst thing in the world to do when you were a kid with pumps is over pump them, and they could actually burst.
Yeah, they could burst.
Like a tire.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And then the
happening.
white shit fucking flies everywhere. Yeah, it's a terrible thing to do.
I would love those Michael Chang pumps.
When's your birthday?
January.
I don't know if you're a Michael Chang pumps friend.
They reissued them in
gift-worthy.
tennis ball felts. They came out in yellow tennis ball felts.
Yeah, that's how they. Yeah.
No, but the original ones were just white, blue, and yellow. They're white leather, and they had blue, a blue kind of trim, and then a yellow tennis ball pump.
Right. But the tennis ball was
they
felt?
reissued one. They were covered in tennis ball felt.
Oh, the whole shoe.
The whole shoe was
kinda
yellow,
weird.
and I was like, "Bring it!" That is good.
And I wonder too,
A-Life did
Michael-
an edition of them.
I wonder if Michael Chang was. I mean, he must have been the first, but was he the only Asian athlete to ever have a shoe deal? I wonder. I don't know if Jeremy Lin ever got one or not.
He may have been.
Do you guys have a researcher here? Hey, check out.
He may be the first. Well, in America, I bet you there's.
Right. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of any other
Asian American.
How many famous Asian athletes have there been?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing
Right?
with Michael Chang was he was super young. He
4?
was the youngest man to win the French. And his thing was he wasn't necessarily the best tennis player. He was incredibly fast. So he could get to the ball really quick. He had these huge calves. And he could jump high. He was really short. He could jump high. And he was incredibly fast. So he just got to the ball quick.
I'm gonna need to watch some old Michael Chang footage. I think.
Dude, he was great. That guy was great. And talk about in high school, I was on the tennis team. That guy meant a lot to the Korean.
Nerd.
Koreans are obsessed with tennis. So he was everybody's hero.
But did you have those sneakers? When you were a
No,
kid, or
I couldn't get my parents would not buy me expensive sneakers ever. When I got pumps is because I had a job as a busboy. I had to get a job to be able to buy expensive.
Did you have
sneakers.
You had Jordans when you were a kid, right? No.
Nope. I bought the only pair of Jordans I've ever owned. I bought when I was 28 or maybe 30. I bought white Jordan 3s when they reissued them.
Cement threes.
Yeah, cement 3s.
Those are my favorite sneaker of all
To
time.
me, the black ones
cement.
are the best. Black cement's the best.
Black cement on Nice Kicks, which is probably one of the best, if not the best, sneaker blog out there, and they have great.
What's it called?
Nice Kicks.
Nice Kicks.
And they have great Instagram account and all that shit. But they did their 23, obviously in honor of Jordan, their 23 best Jordan 3s.
Right.
And black cement was number. White cement was 2. Black cement was 1. And it's kind of hard to argue that.
Black cement to me is the best sneaker. It's
You
the
could
best
wear those
basketball
with
sneaker ever.
And you could also wear those with anything. You
And
can wear
to
them with
me,
a suit. You can wear them with a white tee.
They're
you can wear 'em with
similar.
anything.
They're similar in as to what made what turned into like a great throwback jersey. Is initially people thought they were ugly. When they first came out, I remember my friend Casey Canale.
They undersold.
Yeah,
They
my friend Casey
underperformed.
Canale got a pair, and I was like, and I just remember being like, those are crazy. But people were like, oh, I hate them because they didn't like the cement part.
Yep.
They were like, that's ugly. And then so they undersold, which then it made them into like, it's the same way like the weird throwback jerseys are popular, like the old White Sox jerseys, the old Brewers jerseys.
Anything ugly became
So
popular.
those were considered like really ugly back then.
Yeah, they were.
They
So
didn't
cool
sell.
looking.
I think I might have been reading this on one of their blogs or a different blog. Like, yeah, the white cement threes and the black cement threes just didn't really.
Wow.
I think that also coincided when they launched like the Spike Lee Mars campaign.
Oh,
so like
cool
the campaign worked and was
Yeah.
a success. Like obviously there was no such thing as viral back then, but like that
No,
would
that
have been a
campaign was
viral
great.
video. And yeah, they just didn't sell. But the reissue, I guess it's similar. Like even like with watches, like what you and I discussed the Milgauss all the time. Like that's probably a similar thing. The Milgauss didn't really sell, but then
A lot of Rolex's big, the most like hard to find ones now are the dogs. The Paul Newman Daytona was a dog. It ate it. People didn't.
What is that about our culture? Is that
Well,
like
it's
the
not that- it's
underdog
not-
in us?
No, it just makes it less available. It just makes it like people don't save them because they're not popular. Like
And
you
they
know,
make a bunch.
Well, yeah, they don't make enough of them. They don't make a lot of them because they're not popular. So then they're not out there. So that makes it hard to find. A popular anything. There's too many of them because they're easy to find.
Like, wow, look how ugly that is. Nobody has that. We have to have that.
Yeah, like it's not hard to find a Toyota Camry because they're routinely the most
I
popular.
guess the same thing in music. Like any artist who just did not release a lot of shit or passed away before his or her prime.
Van Gogh didn't
It's
sell
like, it's
anything.
Not a lot of
Van Gogh
inventory.
sold one painting while he was alive to his brother.
That's it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of right time, wrong place, right time, whatever.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah, and then you just don't break till later, or a design could be ahead of its time.
So we could safely say the Jordan
The Jordan 3 was
3
like ahead
black
of its
cement
time.
was ahead of its time.
Because
For
you
real.
look at it and you're like, that shoe could come out now. Like
Oh my God.
And it
Well,
if
wouldn't
you
be
think
like
about
you
it-
wouldn't think it was throwback. You'd be like, that's a good modern looking.
What we were
design.
just saying about the Spurs redesign, it was black and gray in the 90s, late 80s,
The
early
Raiders.
90s. The color of black and gray
White
was
Sox.
like outlaw.
Deep cover.
There weren't teams that were. There was not that many teams that were that
were tough.
color scheme. You were tough. So if you think about the black and gray cements were like. They came out before that shit, and then the Spurs redo it. Then I think the White Sox. I don't know who's first, the White Sox or the Spurs. But if you notice,
Sox, I think.
every rap video from every hip hop video, it was White Sox hats.
And Raider start. Like, could you imagine White Sox hat, Raider starter jacket, black cement threes?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
You're an outlaw.
A Raiders jacket,
jacket.
A Raiders starter jacket when I was a kid was a thing I wanted so bad and was deathly afraid to wear because that shit could get you beat the fuck up.
You're basically, you're essentially saying like, what we want to do about it.
Yeah, you're saying I'm in a gang, so then other gang members will then ask you, well, what gang are you in?
where are you from?
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, man, I know Dr. Dre does not need any more praise from me or anyone else in the world, but he could take full credit for the relaunch of the White Sox logo.
You
He
can
wore
point
that
to
shit.
you can point to a handful of rappers for being the reason certain huge companies have made not millions, billions.
Especially like sports teams.
Yeah.
Because they'll always rock a whatever,
Dude, the
and then it'll
Spurs-
become like a little bit more gangster because they did it.
The Spurs, the White Sox, the Hornets. I mean, there are certain teams that benefited from hip hop hugely. And that, I mean, if you want to go back, you can kind of start with Shelto, Adidas, and Run DMC.
That's the original. That's like where it was born. Like if this was a history, if we were taking like a historical tour,
Right.
that would be the first stop. Like over here on your right is
The first sneaker I remember wanting, and it wasn't that. It wasn't the Shelto. I wanted Pumas. I wanted suede Pumas with fat laces because I watched Beat Street. And all the breakdancers in them had the one side had white leather Pumas with a burgundy stripe and burgundy laces, and I was just like, that is the greatest shit.
Those
I've
shoes
ever
were
seen.
too thugged out for me.
you know who like
See, I was such a young kid in the 80s. I was in elementary school. Like I was literally like probably 8 years old, so there was no. I wasn't. Nothing.
I
was
just
gonna
wanted
happen to me.
Vans, like all the cool skate kids and shit, like rock those Vans.
This was before I skated.
Checkered Vans,
Dude.
and all the those were like you couldn't look cooler.
That's what I. After I was into breakdancing, I started becoming a skater. There was a Vans store on Foothill, and
I love that sentence.
Yeah.
After I got out of breakdancing,
After I'd
I hung up the breakdancing.
I made
shoes.
my mark, so I decided to move on. But we would go. I had 2-color checkerboard Vans. They were slip-ons. They were red, white, and blue. They had red checkers and blue checkers. My mom got them for me at the Vans store, and I was just like, these are the coolest. To this day, I still buy checkered Vans.
The suede half cabs when those came out.
Oh, forget it.
Those were like everyone had those, and they were like the coolest looking thing in the world.
Breakdancers are kind of like today's surfers, I think, in a way. Like you kind of look at them, and like they're usually like tallish, skinny, athletic, but you don't picture them as tough. But breakdancers were tough back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And you have to be in shape to be able to dance like that. You have to have wiry strength.
Yeah.
That's I saw a lot of good breakdancing fights in the club when I was like 12, 13. I know I was in clubs. That's true. Yeah. They were 18 and under. Night flight, Sheepshead Bay. Walked home from there one night, 4 miles to my house. It was like the movie Warriors, just walking through all the bad neighborhoods. But that's what made
You did that regularly? Walked 4 miles to and from the club?
Yeah, because like we're talking about 1993. Wow. How else do you get home?
No, but I'm just like
at that hour when you're not really supposed to be out anyway.
Yeah.
No buses. You could take trains, but we weren't really train kids. We didn't really know, how the trains worked. And you just fuck it.
You just walk.
We'll foot it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go home by foot. But that brings up the scariest thing of like what made sneakers so attractive to me was there was a danger element, meaning young kids, teenagers were violently robbing Jordans.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Like it was the sort of thing where like,
what neighborhood did you grow up in?
Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
Yeah. That didn't happen here, but you heard about it on the news, and it was always there.
And it almost became like that. The first moment of like, oh, this shit's kind of dangerous. Like we can't. I can't. You shouldn't wear if we wore the Jordans to night flight, and then you had to like walk home at 1:00 in the morning. Like someone might stick you up for your Jordans. And kids were getting robbed for their sneakers religiously.
I always found that such a weird thing to steal because you would just have to like hope that guy wore your shoe size or whatever.
Well, the theory too was like, look, if you can't wear them, you sell them.
You sell them, right?
And at the time, I mean, Jordans were going for I don't even know.
They were 120, I think.
What's crazy is there really hasn't been that much of a market. Like the price hasn't really changed.
I remember
for retros they have, but for new releases, they haven't really changed.
I remember the first expensive shoe. My mom's boyfriend's kid, his name was Mickey, and he got the Nike Revolutions, and they were, I think, $100. And I just remember being like, I can't believe a sneaker costs $100, and you tricked your dad into buying them for you.
My parents laughed at me when I told them I was like, I want Jordans for Christmas. Like, what are those? I'm like, Michael Jordan shoe. It's like, how much are they? Like $100. I still remember the conversation. I told them that amount. They laughed at me like I was some kind of asshole, and they were like, come up with something else. Who would ever pay that much?
Yeah.
Who has that much money to throw at shoes?
My father could not wrap his head around that much money for something that would wear out that quickly. He's like, you're a kid. They're sneakers.
Yeah.
They'll be torn to shreds in a month, like 3 months. Why would I do that?
I find it hard to remember the exact first pair of expensive shoes. I didn't have many. I know I definitely had a pair of the D Brown pumps were the first like expensive shoe I got, and I definitely had Jordan 4s. I don't really remember. I think they were just like the
4s
red
were
and white.
great.
Yeah, because I think that kind of timed out with.
I gotta look up.
4s were fucking great.
Yeah, I think it was just the red and white.
There's a website for people listening called Flight Club.
Yeah,
and you can.
That's a really easy website to look because you can just click on the Jordan you want.
Right
yeah, you go to Air Jordans and you hit on the left side. There's all the model numbers. It goes Jordans 1 through 23.
Jordan 4. Okay, was Jordan? Were the 4s the first Nike to introduce them like that kind of mesh?
Yes. The screen, like the kind of yes. Oh wait, did they do them in 2? No. And you know what? 2s are kind of 2s in a weird way, which did have a resurgence like a year ago. With
2s are like not the most fetishized ones, but they're pretty great looking.
Honestly, I don't really I didn't. I had to actually like a year or two ago. Whenever they did a reissue, like I had to go look up exactly what 2s looked like.
Yeah.
No one bought them in my neighborhood.
No, they were a dog.
They looked
They
weird. They
kind
looked
of
like
look like
space
the ones a little bit.
What, the 2s or the 4s?
The 2s.
Yeah, but like, look at them. Do they look like a Jordan to you?
No.
Not really.
Or early Jordan? They just never really had like an
Well,
identity.
the thing I think that keeps the 2s relevant is there's some really good Jordan images of him dunking in the 2s.
Yeah.
Right.
He had some really insane like dunk moments in the 2s.
Yeah, so
Did he? Is the free throw line dunk in 2s or 3s?
well, you know, 3s are the first ones that have the silhouette of Jordan dunking on the tongue.
Right, because
They want-
before that they said his name on the back, and the NBA made him.
Yes.
But the story goes that Nike would pay the fine.
Right.
What he would wear them in the games.
And
It
Nike
said
would take it
Jordan,
down.
and the NBA said you can't have your name on the shoe because it's like free advertising. And Nike would pay the per game fine. It was like $5,000 a game or something.
Damn.
The dunk, I believe, was in 2s.
You can see.
Oh no,
him.
they were one. I think they were 1s.
Here, you get a better.
I think
eye.
the silhouette was probably in 1s, but I think the free throw line dunk is in 2s or 3s. But yeah, I remember because he had those double socks.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Someone has a fucking picture of him dunking with the shoes in front of him. Are those 2s? No.
Let me see.
Here.
Those are 3s.
Those are 3s.
White
yeah.
3s. The free throw line,
The white
the
cement
poster,
threes.
the poster that
Yeah.
everyone had, where he's just fucking craned, his legs are behind him. It's from the free throw line. Are white 3s.
Have you guys seen the
Yeah.
ESPN 30 for 30 Soul Man about Sonny Vaccaro?
No, but I know who he is.
You should just watch it.
He's fascinating.
He's fascinating, and also where he is in his life now. He kind of like looks back on it like, what did I do? I created a monster. But like, you know, he was kind of the first one who was getting like these shoe endorsements for like high school kids.
Yeah.
And you know, he basically helped get Jordan at Nike, and then he started working for Adidas, and like he had LeBron, apparently, as legend has it, like he had LeBron teed up coming out of high school to sign with Adidas, $100 million over like might have been like 7 years or something. And then when he got the contract to take to LeBron's house for like signing day, it was like $70 million with the other 30 in incentives, and basically that was it.
Yeah.
Deal off, went with Nike, and the rest is history. But LeBron
Wow.
could have been Adidas. It's a great documentary.
The thing
you
is,
should watch.
you know what's so interesting is no matter how good the player is, if they're not on Nike, the shoe doesn't matter. Look at Shaq's greatness. The Shaq Reeboks, I don't care. They just never mattered. There's something.
Also, big men never really sold shoes.
But Shaq is different, though. Shaq was the most charismatic big man ever, like besides Wilt Chamberlain.
But here's what
Dr. J.
But here's why it still matters is because kids who went to the park after watching the game and then bought a pair of Jordans or even old like LeBrons or McGrady or Penny Hardaway, like those are players that they could actually, obviously they can't dunk like Jordan, but they could emulate some of the.
You can't. You
You could try and cross over
Yeah.
like Penny. You could try and shoot a fadeaway like Jordan. You can't back someone down and
Yeah.
shatter a backboard
Yeah, there's
like
no
Shaq.
cool imitation
That's
with
true,
that.
yeah.
And that a lot and that's the theory of why big men have never. I mean, even look around now. What big man has a shoe that you know about that you're like, oh yeah, I got to go get the new Jaleel Okafor? Like he doesn't, you know, it doesn't.
I mean, do we consider Magic Johnson a big man? Those
No.
Converse were pretty.
He was a
popular.
point guard though,
6'9".
but he was a point
But
guard.
his position.
Yeah.
No look passes.
Like, no one
you
wants
could
to go emulate a center.
in the park. Right, you can go in the park. You what are you going to try and like bat?
I'm going to
like,
lace these up and go stand.
I was
right there.
5'1".
Someone wants to see an assist.
Yeah.
I was 5'1", 120 pounds. Who am I backing down in the park?
Right.
Hook shot. Like no
Yeah.
kid wanted to emulate that. That's
Yeah, you
why-
want to put on shoes and think you can fucking
Patrick
fly.
Ewing's never took off. What, you gonna go wear knee pads and Ewings to the park? Let me go lace up my Ewing. Mom, where are my knee pads?
One of my
Pretending I'm Patrick Ewing today.
It'd be so cool if they came with knee pads. Like the limited edition.
knee pads sold separately. No, now today only get the knee pads.
Yeah, Christmas
hysterical.
special. That'd be so awesome.
They come with just foam knee pads.
We need to shoot that. We need to shoot a back in the day video of that.
My first time going to New York ever, I was 25. I went to New York. I forget why, and I went
to see about a girl.
No, that's not why.
I'm kidding.
I think I went to see about a book. To be honest with you, and that's literally the reason. And so I went to New York, and I went to Rivington Arms, the Rivington Arms A-Life store, which was a shoe. It was. I kind of think it was the first of that curated boutique shoe store.
If it wasn't, it was the only one I knew about.
It was only sneakers.
Right.
The door had a buzzer. There was no sign.
Again, dangerous.
It was. I had read about it on a blog or seen it in a magazine. I think I read about it in Vice magazine. And so I went to New York. I had the address. I took a cab, and I went. I buzzed in, and I bought the blue and orange Patrick Ewing Adidas high tops. And then that night, I went out with my friends. I drank the equivalent of a bottle of whiskey and barfed on them.
Good thing you didn't barf on your Ewings.
I did.
All on your Ewings.
I barfed.
I thought you meant you barfed on your friend.
No, I barfed on my new sneakers, and it was such a bummer. I cleaned them.
You got them
clean. Yeah, okay.
I cleaned them, but I was I remember barfing and being my shoes.
You know who was a spy? I remember I had a poster in my room of Patrick Ewing dunking in the Ewings.
Yeah.
But I always remember too, it was sponsored by the New York State Lottery. Some shit.
That's funny.
Just never Mutombo had a shoe, which if you look at the Mutombo now, I put them on Instagram recently.
The British Knights?
No, I think they were Reebok.
I think he had a British Knight too.
They were
an LA
BKs?
Gear, and they were the ugliest. Can you look up the Kembe Mutombo's
Okay,
BK?
trivia question for you.
Yes.
Do you remember the model and name of the Karl Malone sneakers?
Oh, I have no clue. They're probably called the Mailman.
I feel like we might have talked about this on our last time I came here to podcast.
Shit.
It's something to do his commercial was was Mailman.
Yeah, it was a Mailman. I remember the poster.
Do you remember the company that made that sponsored him, that made his shoe? Hint.
It wasn't
Nike.
LA Gear. Was it LA Gear?
LA Gear is correct. To this day, one of the cool ahead of its time in the marketing.
LA Gear was
because it was scientific. The LA Gear catapults. And in the commercial, they zoomed inside of the shoe and literally tried to tell us that there was a catapult-like mechanism in the shoe.
Right.
And I had them. I might have stolen them. I had them thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to be able to dunk. Because you don't understand,
so
they have this
funny.
catapult. You get 7 inches extra on your vert just from having the LA Gear catapult.
I remember
If I could find those, and I feel like I've seen them recently, and I think I did discuss them on another rival podcast. I got to get my hands on some LA Gear catapults. Go look at them. They're
what was
fucking
the
dope.
first Nike that had the visible air pocket? Remember how on the back,
threes.
the threes had the
air bubble?
air bubble.
Yeah, threes.
That was the first Nike that had them, or the first
where you
Jordan.
could see into the back of the sole had a clear window.
Threes. Man. Other thing terrible that kids would do in school,
Pop them.
Yeah, with a pen to the air bubble. Here,
Pen to the air bubble. That was
that shit. It's over.
That was a dick move. That's
Those
vandalism.
shoes, the bubbles would eventually get squeaky.
Oh yeah,
what got
really.
annoying.
When you pop them, you literally heard
Even when
a
you
little...
didn't pop, when you just after
yeah,
wearing them a
yeah.
while, they would just
Yes.
start to squeak.
Did we
every
get
time you
anything on that Mutombo?
moved. Oh yeah, sorry. What Mutombo shoe? But what?
Who makes Mutombo? What
I
company
think,
made
them?
I think it was BK.
Kevin says British Knights. I thought they were Reebok.
They were red and yellow, and they had an
were all fucked up.
African print.
I think it's.
They look like the
Adidas.
title sequence from In Living Color.
It all says Adidas.
Adidas.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
And again,
but they don't look like.
What are you going to do as a kid? You're 13 years old. You're going to throw on a pair of Mutombos and say, "Today I'm going to block shots."
I love to get
today I'm going to be the best rim protector
That
in
guy-
the park.
Yeah.
Did he pass away recently,
Mutombo?
or was it Manute Bol? A very
Mutombo's
famous.
still around. He had a great commercial in the supermarket blocking shots. Going, not in my house.
Ugh, great. Manute Bol
You know the story
devoted his
Kembe-
life to charity.
There's an urban legend that the first English Mutombo learned, they taught him to come out after games and go, "Who wants to sex Dikembe?" I don't know if that's true or not.
Fucking
but what a great
great.
story.
It better
It's
be
not
true.
I hope it's true. If it's not, in my mind, it'll always be
You
true.
know what sneaker that to me is still one of the best looking is the Bo Jackson cross trainer.
Oh God, yeah.
Black and gray. Black and gray.
And they were never not like those things were cool the minute they came out, and they kind of never went away.
Nope. They had that the Velcro strap on the front. It said Nike, and that shit was gorgeous.
There's a period of time where you couldn't get a shoe without a fucking Velcro strap in the front.
Yeah.
It was just
And then they
became
came back
so
for a little. Like
popular.
Durant is big on the straps.
Were they?
Huarache's.
They had
I
a sneaker. Now that I think of it, with an X
Huaraches
strap.
are weird.
Huarache.
I love the Huarache.
Huarache is another. Like, and you want to talk about just comfort, like whether the style is for you or not. That's arguably for you to decide. But on a comfort level, Huaraches.
We recently discussed my end of Nike boycott on the last episode. I've discussed
did you
this
come
with
out?
you.
Is it done?
Yeah,
He's
I'm
done.
out.
You announced it publicly.
I announced it because
I'm surprised it didn't hit CNN.
I admitted the hypocrisy of tweeting Neil's commercial.
You realize that you are, in fact, like all of us,
a brand ambassador. Yeah. So then, but a lot. So I started thinking of sneakers. Like if I was going to go out and buy Nikes right now, and that
What would you buy?
that Huarache man is cool looking to me.
It's a banger.
Crazy weird colors. The like salmon with the fucking granite.
Yeah, the design is weirdly weird, but
They're really weird.
Supposed to be the most comfortable shoe.
I thought they were.
And that's a shoe you can go in and find at a Foot Locker right now.
Oh, yeah.
At Gleno Galleria, there's a Huarache.
They're
at Foot Locker.
everywhere. They're everywhere right now.
Are we going to the Gleno Galleria after this?
Or do you want to go to Melrose Shoe Palace to see what's up?
I mean, look, guys.
I swear to God, I don't have an endorsement deal with them. I've mentioned them 4 times,
Yeah.
but I do not have an endorsement deal.
They're your
didn't-
self-edge.
I've never
Like they're
been-
that we endorse the store all the time and don't have a deal with them.
Right. Yeah, I want to go to this place.
No, dude, the Huaraches, they must have come out after the Bo Jacksons. But it's that weird cross-trainer type thing where, I mean,
How old is that style? How old is the Huarache?
Huarache's 90s.
Yeah,
Because
Huarache's been
they-
around for a while. I used to play in those.
Are they a basketball shoe?
I didn't even know. They had some high
'Cause
top
there's
with the
that
strap.
weird
I think
high top.
McGrady.
Okay.
I think McGrady was Huarache and
I love
Weber
that shoe.
and Chris Webber, I think.
Did they just redesign them or something? Because I see them
They're
posted
always-
about
there's always-
so much lately.
One of the best thing, like when Chris Webber was still in the league, I was at a Clippers game when he was on the Warriors.
Well, he was a rookie. He was drafted by he's drafted by the Magic, and then they traded the rights to the Warriors for Penny Hardaway, who also, like I said, I played many Pennies.
Pennies and
remember with the miniature pen, the Chris
Little Penny, but voiced
Lil
by
Penny.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Tremendous
Great
campaign.
Tremendous
campaign. What Chris Webber famously called timeout on accident.
Yes.
And in college, and I'm at a Clippers game against the Warriors, and he's shooting free throws, or someone's shooting free throws, so it's very quiet, and some guy in the crowd just goes, "Chris, you've got 2 timeouts left, just so you know." Whole crowd, like a lot of the crowd laughs. Chris Webber cracks a very nice smile, like that's very funny.
What's insane is it's kind of cool, but it's kind of scary. I watched that live. I remember where I was. I remember what I was wearing. Like I was at my boy Mario's house.
Call this timeout with no timeout.
I was rooting so hard for Michigan. I remember
Four.
watching the game, seeing that. I remember seeing that in real time,
Fab
going,
Fives.
"What the fuck? I'd never seen that in my life."
Yeah.
Didn't even know that was a rule. Most people didn't know that was a rule. And then there's even like the documentary about it. Like if you zoom in, like you see his teammate on the bench putting up the timeout sign, saying that the bench was telling him to call timeout. And
Yeah.
to Weber's credit, he never really blamed anyone
No.
or like tried to get out of it. And the footage of him going backstage after the game, because he was a fucking kid. He was a child. And I mean that with all due respect. He was 18 years old. Like, he's throwing chairs and the cameras are following him. He's like, get that camera out of my face. Like, I don't know. My heart, not that my heart breaks for him because everything worked out for him, but like, in that moment in time, his world was over.
Yeah, and I like him as an announcer.
He handled it well.
I think he's good as an announcer too.
Yes, I got the chance to meet him when we were doing Entourage Press. We did the NBA TNT halftime show, which is by far
cool.
It's one of the high watermarks of my
The worst
career.
is when
That must
when
have
you
been
get to
fun.
when you get to the finals you're kind of like, this sucks.
Because then they shut it down.
Yeah, they're not as good. You're like,
And Shaq picked us up at the airport.
That's amazing.
Swear to God, we landed. This isn't humble brag shit. We had to take a private plane, or else we physically would not have been able to do it. We were in New York. The moment came up quick, and the reason why it happened so fast was
the Aristotle of Ubers.
Well, the Cavs were going to sweep the Hawks, so it's and then TNT coverage stops. It was the last TNT broadcast of the season.
Yeah.
So it all happened so fast. So we get off the plane. We're walking to this weird party bus van thing because there was 8 of us or whatever, and literally we walk in and it was kind of shaking when we walk up to the van, and fucking Shaq sitting there with a camera. That's what I want to pick you guys up. Yeah. And just he is. There was some. I don't know if he was with the network or whatever. Just clearly some rich dude who came over to say hello, popped his head, and Shaq was already on his way out, and he's saying shit to us hey, Entourage was awesome. He's kissing our ass. Basically, Shaq's behind him, mimicking him the whole time. Never met the guy in his life, but Shaq's going yeah.
That's great.
Fucking awesome. They don't rehearse. They have no idea. There's no script for those guys. Those guys turn the cameras on and say, let's go.
Yeah.
I got Reggie Miller came from behind and fucking threw me in a choke.
Reggie Miller.
That's awesome.
And he knows I hate him.
Greatest clutch player.
Really?
I mean,
why do you hate him?
For what he did to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Another great 30 for 30 you should watch. And this is not just the sports doc.
Was it 9 points? 9 points in 7 seconds.
It is a human emotion documentary.
Yeah, I saw the Hunting the Badger.
Right, you see the Reggie Miller one with the him and Spike Lee feud, and what he did to the Knicks, and John Starks, who was already a little out there emotionally. He set out one day. He's his goal in the game was I'm gonna get John Starks thrown out of the game. I'm just going, and sure enough, at some point in a crucial game of the playoffs, John Starks got so mad he fucking leaned in and headbutted Reggie Miller in the game.
Right,
Reggie Miller fell back and they ejected him. Then Patrick Ewing and Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley got so mad at Starks for getting ejected, they started roughing him up on the court, smacking him, pushing him. You gotta watch it, Nick.
Wow, I will.
Those are on Netflix. They're all on Netflix.
Okay. Reggie Miller's
Soul Man and Reggie Miller winning time.
Okay.
Reggie Miller's ability to get under people's skin, to me, is one of the best in the league ever. Him and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman
was the best.
Drove people quite literally nuts.
Yeah.
Didn't Starks had some insane dunk over someone twice his size.
Over the Bulls.
Yeah.
It was I
it was Cartwright or someone.
It was over Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant.
Yeah. It was
mainly over Horace Grant, but Jordan was in the shot, so it
Starks
became
is what, 6 feet?
No. Starks is 6'4", 6'5".
Okay.
So they had him listed at 6'3", 6'4", but call him 6'4".
Right.
There we go.
No, he's a big. He was a big-ish two guard back in the day, but Reggie Miller was 6'7", Jordan's 6'6", so
Reggie Miller. I mean,
never had a shoe.
Yeah.
What would you call the Reggie Miller shoe? The
clutch,
the shit talker,
the clutch,
the intimidator.
But then, it's so interesting because he's so clutch, but then, not a championship.
No, he won finals appearance, and it's so crazy. Jordan retired for those 2 years, and Olajuwon and the Rockets were the winner, but it was a free fall. Who's going to get these rings while Jordan was gone?
Yeah, there was a lot of people. There's Barkley, Ewing,
Malone, Reggie was but Reggie was just really kind of starting into his prime at that point. But there was a lot of people, and then the Rockets got them both.
Jordan had an embargo on championships the way Nike controls mall shoe stores.
Yeah, because then he came back and he beat Barkley and Malone and Stockton twice.
Yeah.
And then, turning this into a sports podcast.
I mean,
what Jordans are the ones you're wearing again?
Oh, these? Do you want to describe them to the audience?
They are shiny and white.
What do you see?
They're futuristic looking.
They're moon boots.
They're kind of moon bootish, but athletic.
Patent leather, so the audience right there should know they are 11s. They're the Colombians.
See,
what does that mean? Why do they call them that? The Colombians.
That's what makes Jordan so unique is that there's a story behind each one of them.
Okay.
But sadly enough, I don't really know the story.
Is that Colombia's color scheme of their flag?
I guess so.
I think it is. Yeah, it's light blue.
But that's what really went on to
black and white.
make Jordans what they were is obviously there was some that were rare and stuff like that, but just like each one of them has a story. The hair,
that
the
is
hair,
not the flag
the hair
of Colombia.
Jordans. You know,
It's not?
No.
What color is the Colombian flag?
It's yellow, blue, and red.
I sadly enough don't know the story behind why these are called that.
Oh.
Yeah, well, let's see if the internet does here.
But man, I got some good shit the other
post, like after Jordan 6s or 7s, that's to me is where it becomes, those ones are fetishized by only sneakerheads.
They have a Jordan 4 Columbia, too?
day. Yeah.
So
That's the
that-
thing. They kind of go make them for.
For each one?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
When I
Okay.
think Jordan's in light blue, I just think like, North Carolina.
Well, that's the thing. Like this
Editions.
is really like the
Those
the
is- that's-
Carolina blue.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that white and blue, totally.
But see, because you and I are about the same age, I go Jordan 1 through 6s. Like that's what I try to just wear every day. And then in terms of like,
It's a life goal.
well, because meaning
I
like
really
that's
try
like
and
that-
get in a one Jordan a day every day of my life.
those were the ones that kids were fucking stealing.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, putting knives to kids, saying like,
Yeah.
"Hey, run your shit! Like, give me your fucking shoes!" Like,
Yeah.
or breaking into locker. Like, just if you saw a pair of Jordans lying around in 1993, didn't matter. You weren't gonna be like, "Oh, whose are those?" You're just gonna go take them.
Yeah.
Someone, some awful human, and this was like a message, like stole. I won't name names, but stole someone's. I think they were 3s.
Yeah.
Might have 4s, and just tied them together and threw them on the
Threw him over the
on
that
the telephone,
sucks.
and they were hanging there for years. We would throw other shoes at them to try and knock them
hopes,
down.
yeah.
It was like the game where you try to like get a stuffed animal with the claw. We were trying to
Yeah.
knock those 4s down.
How
to
do
get
you?
them. We
How
tried
big
to-
of a ladder would you have had to have gotten? Like, how high up there
In
was
a
it?
fire truck.
Yeah, basically, we thought about that too.
Yeah, like, which one of our like friends has a relative with a
Whose father's a
firefighter?
fireman?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Bust the fire hydrant. They show up and be like, "Hey, while you're here."
So our safe suburb version of that, of
Is?
these knifing each other, was just going up.
no one got stabbed.
Yeah,
in
no,
fairness.
there was no knives, no anything. We would go up to each other when we saw someone had a brand new pair of shoes, and then just step on them.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's the worst thing to do.
Yeah, that was like the.
It really
that was like
is.
the
Would
dick
fist fights
move.
happen because of that or no?
I remember a couple of fights.
If you did that to me in the 90s, you could expect the fucking mitts to come at you.
Yeah, I saw a couple of people break out into like. I mean, fights never lasted long in school. They would get broken
Right.
up after a minute. But if one of those thug kids had like a nice pair of Adidas or whatever, and they're always like white, and they kept them as white as they could. Someone would just walk up and step on him. It would just push, shove, punch, punt, and then it would get broken up.
Why
I mean, the famous scene in Do the Right Thing. The guy's on a white guy on his mountain bike rolls up and rolls over the toe of a guy who's got brand new white Jordan 4s, and he's just like, motherfucker. I mean,
Which there's a Jordan 4, by the way. They made Jordans with the Do the Right Thing colors.
yeah, great. I mean, there's
Poster
something
colors.
to. I mean, I think about it in that Jordans represent like the fanciest thing you could afford when you don't come from a lot of money. They're the status for like it's $100. So like you could save up all your. The thing was you got them for Christmas. They were your Christmas gift.
What are we considered our age group? We're not millennials.
We're not.
You're-
What
how old are you
generation
guys?
Y?
What are we?
No, you're you're late Gen X.
I
Is that
thought
what-
Gen X.
What year were you born?
77.
You're
I'm
Gen X.
79.
I thought
Gen Y, millennials are 1980 until 2000.
I thought
So we're
Gen
Gen
X.
X.
You're Gen X. You're
Well,
late Gen X.
Jordans for the Gen X generation, at least for me and where I'm from, was like the first time you learned at a very young age what financial bracket your family was in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like I learned I was poor,
Yeah.
and when I say poor, I mean of a lower income,
Like
single
lower to
mom,
middle, yeah.
You know, I mean, we had everything in the world we needed, but only the shit we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned that by knowing that I couldn't get, and it wasn't because like you need to like work and learn the value of a dollar. It was like there's no, it's not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, but my mom, two things my mom done, and I almost cry every time I tell this story because it's still to this day is the sweetest thing. The things I wanted the most at that age were Jordans and a starter jacket.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the store out for the starter jacket I wanted. And I think back then, starter jackets were like $200.
Right.
Yeah.
And I went and like I want to say I might have even thrown a little bit of a tantrum in the store. Might have even said I hate being poor or some shit like that.
God.
And we just left the store. And this is maybe in like early November, so it was close to my birthday. And maybe thought she was trying to trick me and she was going to get it for my birthday. My birthday comes around at Thanksgiving. No fucking starter jacket. So then it's official. Like, okay, we're poor. I got no J's. I got no starter jacket.
Yeah.
I had that's it. Christmas comes and she got me, it was a Rangers starter jacket. What I didn't know was after I threw my little mini temper tantrum, she went back to the store the next day and put the starter jacket on layaway.
Layaway, God bless her.
And paid like $15 a week for 2 months and scheduled it out so by the time Christmas came, she would have the starter jacket fully paid off. And
that's great.
Is just, I honestly, you don't even get stories like that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I distinctly remember a friend of mine who
layaway.
His parents.
I know. That's one of those things where like it shows you when you grow up with very little. It shows you how much your parents really love you when they go to those lengths and shit. Because a rich family could have just been like, "Oh, you want the starter jacket? Here's the starter jacket."
Right.
And then
don't be spoiled.
You get used to getting everything you want. But when parents go to those lengths when they don't have a lot,
and she like hit, just I that jacket. I would have defended that jacket with my life because I loved it, but also just because like that was my first sign of like, our situation was a little different than most families, like single mother kind of stuff, and B was the first time I learned that like that woman is fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Like I started getting her Father's Day cards after that shit. I'm like, you won in life.
Yeah, that's funny.
It. I think that's kind of a thing where like a family, like a middle class or lower middle class family, it's like the one thing they will like. I want my kid to feel like every other kid. So it's like we struggle on some things, but like I know like a friend of mine, his parents were divorced like mine, and I want to say they were probably their income level was probably slightly lower than mine, or ours, but he always had Jordans, and I think that was a thing. Like his dad was I think a smart dude about it and knew like this matters to the other kids right now, and his kid. He was a really good athlete. He was the best baseball player in like our whole little league. Like he was great. But he's like this like matters. So it was like Jordans clearly matter at times. So like let's make sure he has the sneakers that the kids have, so like he doesn't get made fun of. Like and that was like you kind of like I noticed kids like that was the thing you pick. It's like okay, you get to pick one thing. You get to pick one nice thing. It's gonna be those. Those I think are probably the one nice thing kids pick even now. Like in middle class families and lower middle class families, like if you can pick one thing, sneakers. You can buy super cheap clothes. You could go to like H&M.
You can get away with it.
You could go to H&M and get a $5 T-shirt and a $15 pair of black jeans. But if you have Jordans, you look fucking cool.
What were the fake Adidas with the 2 stripes?
Jocks.
Okay, that's
no. Jocks had 4 stripes.
4. I knew that. I had a pair of gray suede Jocks.
I had a pair of white leather Jocks.
I feel like sneakers. I guess Jordans mostly are like they're the coolest thing to own because you get like street cred with them, and they're associated with the coolest people in the world when you're a kid. So like athletes are amazing. They're all heroes. They can do everything that you can't, and that's one of the things you aspire to be. And it's an article of clothing you can wear every day.
Every day. And
starter jackets, depending on where you live, I guess.
Seasonal.
East Coast, it's like probably a lot more than
Well, you've also
LA.
noticed this with the Fat Sal's hat is like the hats fly off. A hat or a
hats
t-shirt.
too.
A hat or a sneakers you can wear every day. And like clothing you can't. You get made fun of if you wear the same thing every day.
The hat situation, which I loved hats when I was a kid, and then I got so stuck into wearing hats on Entourage, I just tried to stop wearing. I'm one of the few actors that's more recognizable with a hat on.
Right.
That's funny.
So like I try, I don't really wear I can't wear a Yankee hat ever again.
No.
It's gone.
Did you read that
do
thing
it.
about Ben
I'm
Affleck?
a walking fucking cliche if I do.
Right.
What?
Did you read the thing about Ben Affleck
Yes.
and Gone Girl?
Yes.
David Fincher wanted him to wear a Yankees cap. And he refused.
said, "I
it was
quit."
such a conflict. They shut down production for 4 days.
By the way, I did something similar like that. Like I shot a commercial for Majestic, who made baseball jerseys, and they like just got the contract back. They're reissuing and they got the baseball jersey back. So we shot this commercial. I had to wear at Dodger Stadium at night, like silhouetted in black, and they had like 6 athletes. I was wearing their jersey, and they wanted me to wear a Matt Harvey jersey from the Mets.
Yeah.
And I said, can't do it. They said, well, the other option is a Red Sox. I forget who on the Red Sox. And I said, well, honestly, it was like a moment of like a week-long negotiation.
Right, yeah.
So it ended up being I could talk about Matt Harvey because the spot was for him, but I still got to wear a Yankee jersey.
That's the best, dude.
Yeah. And
that's so great.
I guess I've reached a sort of interesting moment in my career where I could do that. It wasn't for like a truck full of money or anything. So.
Right. That is so funny. That production will stop because, like, that's not my team. I can't do it.
I have a story of why sneakers affected me physically.
Okay,
You want
yeah.
it?
Yes.
So while, single mom, school crossing guard, making ends meet, I did have her uncle, my great uncle, my grandfather Jerry's brother, Uncle Nicky, lifetime bachelor. Just lifetime. And he had businesses. He had some shady money. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to get into the details of where it came from.
Yeah.
But he was like the shoebox under the bed filled with cash. Like, we'd always go over his house and just say, Uncle Nicky, can we count your money?
The red
My
man.
brother would sit there, and he'd give us, all right, here, go into the bed, get one of the shoeboxes. We just count it. We never took $1. We just sat there and just counted it. Like, and at the time, probably $3-4 grand, about millions of dollars to us.
Millions of dollars. 30 pairs of Jordans.
So every now and then, if my mom had to like work longer whenever we were younger, like he'd come scoop us up from school. He never had children, never married. So, and of all his niece, like my grandfather's grandchildren, which was his brother, all girls. My brother and I were the only boys. And then like he had like 7 or 8 nieces, great nieces that were my mom and her sister's kids. He scooped me up from school one day in his Isuzu Impulse. Which, by the way, back in the day in Brooklyn, that little engine made some noise, scooped me up, and I was bummed out. I was being dramatic. I went, what's wrong, Jared? What's wrong? I was just, everybody has fucking, D Brown pumps, and I just want them. I play bass. I fucking hate playing in the whatever. And he's like, well, how much do these go for? I was like, nah, they're expensive, Uncle Nick. They really are. He's like, well, let's go. And we went to the local fucking Foot Locker. He's like, pick out whichever ones you want. I'm like,
whoa.
I got them. I picked out the D Brown pumps. I got home from them, and I just stared at them, right? Next day, walked to school. I walked everywhere I went, looking at my shoes to the point where it became a habit, and I still do it to this day. When I walk, when I'm by myself, you just see me walking, my head's down, and I'm walking like this. Look at my shoulders, bro.
Yeah, they're hunched over.
I am on the fast track to, what's it called? Scoliosis?
No, that's what you have to born with it. You have to born with it.
Well, either way,
Sciatica?
I'm on the fast track to getting a hump in my damn back because I walk to school every day since that day looking at my sneakers like this, and I have rounded shoulders and have posture like this, not because I fucking played the piano or was on the computer too long, because I fucking stared at my sneakers everywhere I went.
Wow.
Everywhere I went. And those pumps had a tragic ending. I was always trying to I would pump the tongue, and I was always trying to pull the tongue out as far as it can go so I could get the jeans in there good.
Yeah.
I
Right.
ripped the tongue out.
Oh,
No!
wow.
By accident, just pulling on it so hard, just to get it and get the laces just perfect and line up with the pump, and just I ripped it out.
That's the one thing I used to obsess over is laces. Because if they were tied too tight, it looked weird. If they were too loose,
Yeah,
your foot would be
there's
loose.
something geeky about your laces being too tight.
You were what we called a herb. You know what a herb is? You guys
No.
say herb in L.A.?
No.
A herb was our Brooklyn version of you're a nerd.
Oh.
Like a loser.
Yeah, I feel
Herb,
like it
you're a
was
fucking
nerdy
herb.
to lace
Yeah, too
shoes too
tight.
tight. I don't know why.
Let them things breathe,
Well,
man.
I
You're
wonder if
choking
that,
them.
that to me, I can almost pick that with Larry Bird's high top Converse were laced way too tight, and then the shoelace, the string was way too long. So it just looked dumb.
We were talking about the influence hip hop had and certain athletes had, and that's how a lot of hip hop art they wore them. If they could have took the laces out, they would have.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I would get sneakers, I would take the laces out, and then I would lace them back up, even if they weren't fat laces. And you had to go. You went through the top.
Yes.
You didn't go under.
You went-
You go to the
Yes.
top, and you make sure they're in the same order. So one side's always going over the other, and you keep them flat. And it almost is like your hair. You're braiding them.
Now that I remember this too, I won a pair of Hirachis in the card game
Fuck.
twice.
in a car.
I won them from a friend of mine, and then I fucking felt bad, and I gave it back to. This is a little bit old. I was 17, 18. Like this kid lost so much money. He's like, I'll put brand new fucking he had like some neon yellow in them, brand new Hirachis. We were playing 31, so we played, and I was hot that night. I won, and I'm like, listen, just take him back. Just stop. No more playing. And then sure enough, 10 minutes later, he's like, I want back in. I'm like, well, you can't. He's like, I'll put the sneakers back on. I'm like, if you fucking lose them again, I'm keeping them. He's like, oh, that's all right. And sure, and he lost them again, and I kept them shits. I had to.
You had to, yeah.
I had to.
How else is he going to learn?
We were the same size.
I mean, it's interesting. We're talking about all these sneakers, but like sneaker design, they're kind of they're like a nameless group of designers. We don't know a lot of the names of the people that design these shoes. They don't get any credit, really. Like, you kind of know the story, like the guy who designed the Nike swoosh. Like, he worked at Nike, so he didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's in the Soul Man doc too. Yeah, I think he got paid $80 for the logo.
Same the guy who did the Coca-Cola logo. But like the people designing sneakers, like we all know the name of like Jeff Staple now.
Right.
He's a famous like sneaker customizer and he does other design and stuff. But like the people that were designing the Bo Jackson, the Jordan 1, all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these unbelievably classic shoes, you don't really know their names. They're just people that work at companies. And it's sort of a shame.
Those would be interesting people to get as guests.
Though. Yeah, it is more. They're work for hire.
Like, who knows who designed most cars?
Yeah.
Remember the Hello Kitty thing when we went to that? No one really knew who it was one person that created a fucking iconic thing that makes probably billions of dollars a year.
I think that's kind of like the beauty of it. Do you think anyone ever was right when they said, any artist ever, or anyone who contracted an artist to do whatever it was, or a sneaker or a design for something that was like, this is going to withstand the test of time? I don't think you ever know.
Yeah, I don't think you know. Like whoever drew the Rolling Stones tongue.
How the fuck? Like you think that person knew?
Or the guy who designed the happy face.
People gonna get that tattooed on their body for fucking years and years and years.
And also, it's probably better for the product because
way better.
If you want it to be associated with, say, Jordan or whatever, or just Nike or something, like you don't want it to be associated with some like geeky looking designer guy forever.
I just think now it'd be cool if Nike has more money than anybody, right? So I think it'd be cool if they put out like a book. Like, here are the people that designed this. You show the shoe with
because then
the original drawings.
Then it implies that it wasn't Nike. You understand? Like, they'll never do that probably because they don't want. There's this guy who I met last night.
They make Phil Knight famous.
This guy I met last night goes by the name of Shoe Surgeon, right? He can repair sneakers. He designs sneakers. I was talking to him a little bit, and I want to get him on my podcast, or you guys should get him on yours. He's a super interesting guy who's now kind of blowing up. And
he's based in L.A.?
Yes.
Okay.
And he did, years ago on Entourage, we did an episode where my character wanted these limited Air Force Ones that this artist... Fukijama,
played by Rufio, one of the Boscos. But
anyway, we had Undefeated in the show. They sold out. We didn't get in line in time. Later in the episode, the Vince character pays $20,000 to have the same artist make me a pair, one of one, never to be made again. So there was an artist that Nike works with, and so when we were playing this episode, his name is Mark Smith. He was going to design the shoe for the show. And he does all his design, like all his work on the shoes. Like he buys a shoe and he has laser technology that he draws it out and then he burns it into the leather with a laser. Yeah. But he wants to interview me. I'm like, interview me? What does that have to do with anything? So he starts asking, phone interview. I call him up and he starts asking all these not weird, but just like questions. Like, what was your first address growing up? Who was your favorite baseball player? Like all these little facts that only I would know about myself. And when it came, and then he started asking I'm like, does this guy know it's supposed to be for the character Turtle, not for me? Like, he's going to design the wrong fucking shoe. And I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures of the actual shoe. I should have brought them so you guys could see them. You've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Da Vinci Code. Like, if I point out to you the lettering, you'll be able to see it, but to the naked eye, you can't see it. But somewhere on the shoe, it says Don Mattingly. Somewhere on the shoe, it has my first address. Somewhere on the shoe, it literally says... Mom caught me smoking pot in 1998.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
all this
out.
crazy shit on the shoe. And at the time, it gets presented to me in the episode. So he made one for the character, and then he made one for me.
Right.
One of one.
Whoa.
So, and they were Air Force Ones at the time. So this shoe surgeon, when I'm at Shoe Palace last night for the event, comes up to me and presents me with this box that says Turtle in the same exact lettering that Mark Smith did. And he basically took that design of all that information, and they're gold, by the way. The sneakers were gold and white, fucking flashy as fuck. And he did it in a Jordan 1.
Right.
Spray painted gold and burned it. And it's like exact. And the kids who work I call them kids, they're teenagers or early 20s, who worked in the store were literally looking at these things like Michelangelo's David.
Yeah.
They were looking at them like, this is the greatest piece of art. Those are for you, man. Like, that's your life on the shoe.
Yeah.
Like, they were shy. And obviously, it means a lot to me and it's really, really cool. But I guess in a way, like, you know, these are art. Like, this guy's going to blow up for sure if he hasn't already. And Mark Smith will never get the recognition that he kind of deserved for designing those shoes. No one will ever know the name Mark Smith unless I tell about, because Nike's not really interested in blowing him up.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a lot of there's people collect them like crazy. There's a new documentary coming out about sneakers.
I think I'm in it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure.
What's it called?
Or I was asked to be in it.
What is it called?
I think I shot something. Sneakerheads,
maybe.
or something like. If I'm thinking of the right thing, yeah, it's gonna
But
be
it
a big
is
deal.
art. It is art to the people that are super crazy fans for it, and I kind of like that it is, because the art world is incredibly alienating.
Yeah,
it's exceptionally expensive. It's super elitist. It's the people buying the art that actually matters are all billionaire assholes, and so I like that there's like that for people who are just, let's just say, quote unquote normal people at a normal income level, there is like a version of art you can get. It's like I can get in line at Undefeated on a whatever. I see them there all the time.
I saw him last night.
Yeah, and I can wait, and for $200, I can get a thing that is cool. It is unique. Was done by someone who is artistic. It's creative, and to me, it is like an art. To those people, it is an art object.
But also, like, as a young kid too, because sneakers are like really attractive to like teenagers and kids in their like, early mid-20s. It gives you something to like belong to and do, like some community to be a part of and like nerd out on shit.
And that was the first thing my mom did not teach me like many things about women, but she said like women always look at shoes first.
Yeah.
That's like where a woman's eye goes. And it's not even necessary for like, oh, you're wearing cool Jordans. My mom was just insane about my shoe, even if they were like church shoes, being clean, shiny. No matter how much fucking money you had, you could shine your damn shoes. Or like, she's like, I don't know. As a woman, like my eyes on the man always go to the shoe. Like clean shoes says something about. So I
use that to also identify if I see like kind of what I think might be a crazy, insane, or homeless person like walking around. I can't really tell. I always look at the shoes because sometimes they'll get like a newish looking shirt or whatever, but you look down and you're like, oh, those shoes are beat to shit.
Shoes, because you could drive shoes into the ground.
Bill Burr has a bit about like the kind, like that's when you know you should be afraid of somebody. Like he's like
when the shoes are gone.
He's like it's about how like white people are afraid of like all black people. He's like the only ones you really want to worry about are like dudes whose sneakers are fucked up.
He's right. Some of the crazier people I've ever seen, white, black, whatever, are always like have those shoes that are like 10 years too old.
Yeah.
You know who wears this shady shoe game? We should start worrying about him. Mike Young.
Really?
We should start. Mike Young, when he comes to play balls, playing in like some Barclays that aren't like throwback Barclays, like the shit that he wore in Detroit, playing that are like a new color, like a level of tint from the sun that's not normal. Like Mike Young's shoe game, he's starting to go borderline on like crazy.
Like a red.
He might be losing it.
His style, but he's not like the most stylish person though. If you've ever noticed, he just like. He does stuff that like just works, like where it's like okay, he
blends,
like
he
blends
doesn't
right
ever
in,
stand out, or you don't really notice him for bad or good style.
He's just like, and he doesn't need to because he's so charming and is always with the hottest girl imaginable that you're like, why do you need to try and put on extra cool clothes?
Oh, that Mike Young.
He's cloaked in mystery.
He'll snap his fingers and like a 9 will grow out of the fucking
I've
ground.
seen you both perform multiple times doing stand-up. I know Mike Young, longer than the both of you, have not seen the stand-up yet.
That's really funny.
And I actually get upset sometimes because like I every now, like whenever someone's in town, that's always like something I always want to take them to do is like I think the Comedy Store is cool to go take an out-of-towner to see.
Hang.
So I'll always ask Kevin if he's going up, and like I always end up seeing you there, and like
Yeah.
you don't even know sometimes I've been in the crowd.
No way.
We have not locked eyes.
That's
and I
funny.
have like this weird thing, like when I see you hanging out in the back, I don't want to go up and like I know you don't give a shit, but I just don't want to like start a. I feel like you got to get ready, and like.
You mean standing around in the back?
Yeah, like you're like,
always
you're
say
like
hi.
on deck or like getting ready to go, and then like you'll be up there and like Mike Young will come in and he'll be like, "Yo, what's up? You could be around." I'm like, "Nah, dude, it's already like 11:30." I'm like, "Yo, I'm
Right.
leaving." He's like, "Oh, I go on at 1:45." I'm like, "Mike, I go to bed if I'm awake past midnight, I turn into a fucking gremlin."
Yeah.
So I
That's
still
so
haven't
funny.
seen. Although I did have him on my podcast and I played like his whole stand-up album as like
Oh,
my
that's funny.
apology for being a terrible
That's
friend.
pretty cool. We meant to ask you this earlier. We keep getting sidetracked. How many pairs of shoes do you own? I know that's probably a number you don't want to admit.
I don't know if I ever want to discount. Well, because I had a moment where, look, the whole freebie culture, especially with sneakers, but with everything for actors, celebrities, whatever the fuck you want to call them, me. You know, when I was younger, I didn't understand it. At first, there was like this moment of like, hey, why do you want to give me this shit for? What's the catch? What do
Yeah.
I owe you? Do I got to name my first son Nike? Like, I don't get what's going
Yeah.
on. Then you just get numb to it. Like, oh, no, this is okay. You're like, this is allowed. They're going to give it to someone. So I had like a year or two where like, I honestly don't know if I paid for a sneaker or a shirt or a fucking anything.
Yeah.
And then I just had this revelation after like a year or two of that where it's just wrong. I'm not saying like it's not, it's like the worst thing in the world, but like people have become pigs about it. Where it's like, all right, we're not going to give you like a free pair of Jordans because you've been nice and like always talk kindly about us. Like you're going to get 10 free pair. I know people listening to this might think like, oh, big fucking problem, right? No, it's not. I'm not trying to say it was a big problem. I just at some point in my mid-20s, it became to feel like this weird, gross thing, and I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
Something's wrong now that I have enough money to buy sneakers, and now I don't have to pay for them. Like that doesn't make sense.
But the weird irony about fame
Doesn't make
is
sense.
that like
I needed
the more
this shit 10 years ago, man.
The more famous you get, the less you have to pay
But
for.
I think it's not so
anything.
much about just the fact that you're famous. You are specifically sneaker famous.
Right. Well, on that level, I am. Yes.
Because of that episode with the shoe.
Yes.
And the Air Force One thing.
So
you kind of are, in the world of sneakers, known as a person that is also kind of a sneakerhead.
right. They want they want me wearing their sneakers. So I get it. Like I even though it seemed wrong to me, like I'm getting all this free shit in a weird way, they were getting to give me $1,000 worth of sneakers, which is a lot of money. I'm not trying to shit
Yeah.
on $1,000, but for them, it cost them
300.
nothing. Yeah, 300 bucks, if that
150,
much. Like it's nothing for them. Of course, it's worth it. So I just stopped altogether. So there was a point in time where I had
I
like
remember
storage
seeing
units
your
full of
closet
sneakers.
once, and it was insane.
Right. I went years where I'm talking like I did not buy a shoe or get a free shoe. I just like I'm going to wear what I got until the treads fall off.
Right.
And it wasn't until recently, around the Fat Sal's opening time, because like we have kind of incorporated sneakers and
Yeah.
Jordans into like the concept of the stores with the hats and all that, that I started wearing Jordans again. And the thought was like, first of all, I'm not taking a free anything, and I'm not going to be precious about them. Like I'm not going to stare at them in some storage unit or some closet like
Yeah.
it's like the Hope Diamond. Like I'm just going to wear them. If someone steps on them, I'm going to wear them till they're old, and I'm going to give them away.
Yeah.
I'm going to donate them and be
That's
like
great.
like a normal fucking person. So now, I mean, look, I do have a couple hundred pair. I'm not going to lie, but
A couple hundred.
yeah.
Of like your main shoes that you rotate through.
Can you
Yes.
have a main
Okay.
couple hundred of anything?
Well, I mean, if you at one point had storage units,
Yeah, okay.
then it's like a
Kevin-
couple hundred's a small chunk.
Kevin, you know me pretty well at this point, and
Yeah.
Nick, you're getting to know me pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything extravagant.
It's true. You don't.
I really
have,
don't.
You
Like,
just
I don't have a habit that's like, Kevin's gotten me into watches.
You're
but
not
still,
really a
like, I'm
car
not-
guy. You refuse to spend any real amount of money on watches. It bothers me a lot.
I have some nice watches, but like
Totally.
my watch game is not
No.
any different. Like, it is a very
You're a very normal guy.
simple,
watch game.
conservative watch game.
Yeah,
Right.
you're not like a car dude. You don't live in a mansion. Like you don't spend money on basically anything.
I got lucky. The things that I enjoy are not like the most. My accountant loves me.
Yeah, right. I'll bet. Yeah.
His favorite client.
It's not even.
Yeah.
It's maybe partly luck, but partly because you had like a humble working class upbringing.
It definitely has something to do with it. It's a combination of that and luck. Like the things I like to do just don't happen to like going to the comedy store with usually, first of all, one of you two hook me up, so I don't really ever pay for anything. But like taking like 5-6 people to the comedy store, we spend $100 or two. Like I'm not saying that's nothing, but like that's not considered an expensive habit.
No,
in the world.
You're
where
almost
my
like
account is.
my girls give me a heart, like making fun of me because I'm always yammering about like a reissue skateboard deck. And I'll be like, it's I don't need it. And she's like, well, how much do they cost? I'm like, it's $70. She's like, what? That's not any. Like, you should be so lucky to fetishize something that inexpensive in comparison to things you could be spending money on.
Look, if it's all relative to your income base, like it really, like I mean, I like cars. I have a nice car, but I just downgraded to a lesser payment. Like I don't, I don't know. I got lucky in that way. I don't have crazy expensive. I don't have fucking $10,000 suits and.
Oh, that's the dumbest.
Well, I get a haircut once a week. That's one of my biggest expenses.
Dude, I wish I could do that once a week.
Keep
would
it
be
tight.
so great.
I try to keep the fro trimmed to once a week.
I do once every 5 weeks.
Really? Because I see you got kind of a fresh cut right now.
Yesterday.
So what is that? What happens to that in 5 weeks?
It just turns like normal. I
don't ever notice it looking that super different though.
Yeah, because you're pretty put together. Never been like, oh, Nick needs a haircut.
Yeah, I've never.
I don't let it get to that point.
Yeah, but 5 weeks, that's pretty light. For me, 5 weeks, man. Oh,
because he cuts it so tight that 5 weeks just looks like it's like a regular haircut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I do that on purpose because it just gets annoying. So I'm like, just fucking and he doesn't charge a lot.
It's like a Brooklyn thing too. Once a week, like one of my buddies just moved here from Brooklyn, and he was asking, he's like, "Well, who's your barber? I need a barber." And I have had the same barber for years now, and I guess in the barbershop world, he charges like $40 and then tip. That's like that's a healthy amount of money for a fucking cut. Yeah. So when I told him that, he's like, I can't use it. I'm like, why? He's like, because he like goes like twice a week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, twice a week?
Wow.
That's it. But in Brooklyn, it's like, it starts from the feet up. So like it starts at the sneakers, then whatever, like whether you're in shape or not, whatever your tattoos are, and it ends at the head, what your cut is. That's like Brooklyn fashion 101. Sneakers, tattoos, and in your hair.
Wow.
Now, I remember
you do well in old school Brooklyn, new school Brooklyn, but you'd even fit in old Brooklyn.
Okay, I remember once Dame Dash was talking about like meeting Jay-Z and how he was skeptical because Dame, I think, was from Harlem, and he heard Jay-Z was from Brooklyn, and he was like, he showed up, he was wearing Nikes, not Fila's. He was kind of like clowning him, like he showed up, he looked right. He had like the right shoes on.
Fila, we didn't even touch upon Fila.
There's a certain kind of Fila that is kind of so wrong it's right, where you're like, it reminds you of like salt and pepper and some like those jackets.
Fila in the Brooklyn Italian community.
Yeah,
in the Guido community.
Huge, right?
With a Sergio Tacchini suit.
Yeah, the suit,
the sweatsuit with the that's like gangster 101.
Right.
What did mobsters look like in the 80s and 90s?
EPMD wore that.
Yeah. Sergio Tacchini jumpsuit
tough
with a pair of fucking Filas, black suede Filas on your feet. Yeah. That was the definition of, and I guess in a weird way in New York, in Brooklyn, young like 80s, 90s gangsters, or I mean like Italian mobsters almost, also contributed to the sneaker game because that, like I said, starts from the feet up, and they were the first, like Filas. They even started wearing Jordan. Like the shoe game to them was very important. And old school gangsters, even like in the Gotti era, John Gotti was a fashion icon.
Yeah,
John Gotti was a fashion icon.
The burgundy Fila sweatsuit with the white or black suede. You're like, watch out for that fucking guy. It became a cliche.
That's how popular it was. Like, you put on the Sopranos. Every gangster like stereotype is Fila sweatsuit.
Yeah,
Sergio Tacchini sweatsuit, rather.
Right.
Yeah,
great.
What do you think about collaboration shoes? Did you ever get into that? Because that's like a sub-obsession of sneakerheads, where certain companies like collaborate, and you're like the Vans and Disney are doing that. Puma has been doing it.
The Jeff Staple dunks, the Jeff Staple dunk with the pigeon.
For me, it's hit or miss.
Right. Yeah,
it could be so sweet and so well done, and then there's other times where it just kind of seems a little corny. Like, it's just hit or miss. Like for me, you're right.
Those
There's a
new
whole
Jordan
subculture
1s
of that people that just live for that.
What's the new
'cause
Jordan
they're
1
so
with the
limited.
orange? The new Jordan 1 that just came out with the orange. It's its edition. It's not a collaboration though. You just,
for Russell Westbrook?
no, I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Sorry. Well, maybe you should maybe get up on your game.
I mean, what do you guys think about like what Kanye's done for Adidas? Say what you want.
The shit. Wait, what were the most recent ones that came out?
Adidas has always been like they're always they're kind of the number 2, and they're always like butting up against Nike's relevance.
He's doing some real interesting shit. I mean,
they're real interesting looking. I don't see a ton of people wearing
shatter
them,
backboards,
and I wonder if there's. Is it? I would doubt you could really even fuck with Nike's market share at this point.
No.
But on a worldwide level, though, I think Adidas is bigger because of soccer.
There's a place for Adidas. Like Adidas has,
But I think
their own niche out.
in Europe, Adidas is much more popular.
The Yeezy Boost 350 is
Yeah.
what we're talking about? Those
Like,
they're so bizarre looking.
They sold out in.
Did you ever get
hours.
the Nike Kanyes? Did
No.
you ever have those?
No, I never.
I liked those. I thought they were cool looking. The black ones.
Yeah, I've never like gotten into.
Is it because he's not an athlete?
Yeah, and
Right.
again, I'm not saying I'm right about it.
Right.
This is my preference. Like I don't, I like the mixture of wearing something that was once used for athletics and incorporating them into like your casual fashion.
Yeah.
That's been like the hook for me.
There's something because Jordan, I think, is inarguably the greatest basketball player of all time.
Agreed. People will argue, but I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you put?
There's so many people. Some people will put Bill Russell because of his championships.
Bill Russell,
and
yeah.
Some people are already starting the LeBron talk, which is just insane.
That's
It's way
insane.
too
Look at the
early.
stats.
That's crazy.
But like it's that Jordan's the best player of all time. I can wear the shoes of the best player of all time that he wore while he was being the best player of all time. It's so simple. I can buy. It's like Tiger Woods doesn't. You can go buy the same clubs that Tiger Woods supposedly uses, but you're not using the same clubs. His are made different.
Right.
But Jordan sneakers are Jordan sneakers. You go buy them. You can buy the same socks.
That's the craziest thing is like I used to when you bought those as a kid, you bought them to play. If you were a basketball player, meaning even if you played in the park, like you wanted to. I would wear them to play, and then I would come home and scrub the shit out of them so I could wear them to the party.
Yeah.
Like they were doing double time for you. They were everything.
Oh, speaking of which, do you have like a certain brand of white shoe cleaner that you like and that works?
Yes,
that actually works.
It actually works. And you know what? I don't know the name. My girlfriend bought it for me. I forget where she got it, and they actually have a brush on the top.
Okay.
I could try and see if she could get. I'll text her to see if she can get me the name. I don't even know the name, but they are.
Yeah, let me know because I have a couple pairs of white shoes I want to clean, and I don't want to waste.
There's a lot of good products out there
Okay.
too. But I'll get you the name. I'll text.
I
you.
bet
I'd
you
love
a
that.
site like Nice Kicks would have a good.
Oh, for sure. That's the
recommendation.
other
Probably,
thing too.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You could just.
Yeah.
But I'll get you the one I got. But yeah, like you played in it. Like when Jordan 5s came out, which were like the real high tops since 2s, I guess. But I never fucked with 2s. But they were like my era. The first, like
They were higher than 2s. 2s
3s and 4s are quarters.
Yeah.
I was ready. Like I laced those up, went right to the white ones with the 23 with the black tongue, and then the reflective gray tongue. I was playing in those.
God, I can't wait to go home and put on my Jordans. I'm not even going to go do anything today. I'm just going to walk around my
go
apartment.
shopping. Be careful walking around, though. You get bad posture if you stare at them, bro.
I know. I catch not as much as you do, I don't think, but I do that. When I get a new pair of shoes, I'll just fucking stare at them. When I'm walking down the street.
Yeah.
Or if I'm sitting there, like with my legs, I'll just like look at them.
How do we feel about, and I'm not trying to make this into like an issue. This is just a question. Like, for me, I think it's hot as shit seeing a girl in some dope
All
Jordans.
day, homie.
Yeah. It's like when
All
you
day.
see a girl driving like an old pickup truck.
Yeah,
You're just like that's
and if
the
she
hottest
stepped
thing
out of
in
the pickup
world.
truck and was wearing some
Yeah,
bullshit,
a
it's
girl
like,
in-
how do I marry her?
A girl in a man's Rolex all day.
So you're saying if a girl rolled up in an old beat up pickup truck with a fucking very subtle like date just on her wrist, and she
gets out with a Submariner on her wrist, just a man-sized Rolex, and
hops
Jordans.
out and is wearing some grape 5s.
Dude.
You're just like,
hey girl.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Hey girl.
You're dropping to one knee.
My girl does that. Shit.
I've convinced so many of my female friends to buy cool sneakers because I'm just like, hey, you'll look cool as shit, and it'll be this bizarre trigger to every dude around you. Like, oh shit, she's cool as hell.
She's fun.
Yeah, not on like it's not even like sexual. It's like, oh shit, she's cool.
I went out on a limb for my girlfriend and I's like first Christmas, but like we hadn't been together that long.
You had a tough timing of Christmas, I remember.
Right, we were in a weird moment. It's
so like when you start dating someone a month before Valentine's Day, you're like, we are fucked.
Yeah, what do I do?
We weren't together for like a year, but I don't even think it was. But it was a few months.
Yeah,
but it was a good few months. Like we you know,
a whirlwind, if you will.
A whirlwind.
A whirlwind.
And I was just on the fence, and she'd always like said and commented on like some of my sneakers, and like always like said like that, like she noticed that right away with me. So I just went out. I mean, I'd gotten her some other stuff, but I went out on the limb and I got her a pair of Chicago 1s, which is just like the starter kit Jordan. And I got her a pair.
They are incredibly classic.
Right. It's just like the starter.
When I told you I was gonna end my embargo against Nike, I was like Chicago ones.
Just to get your feet wet, quote unquote, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah.
So I got her a pair of Jordan 1s, and I got her a pair of grape 5s, white grape 5s, which are like, to me, a very cool shoe for a woman. They got the purple tongue.
Yeah.
It's just like they're white.
They're
like,
cute as shit.
And they're kind of white. Well, also too, 5s are kind of bulky. So she's a size 5.5. So. Yeah. I almost like wish my foot was smaller. I wear 5s a lot, and they look good, but they look big. The tongue is big and bulky.
Yeah.
Like 5s on a girl look
dang.
On a small foot look fucking amazing.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
But there is a side effect that comes with this, Nick and Kevin. So she's got like 4 pairs of Jordans now at this point. She wears.
But that
them on
was
a
like
good
your
rotation.
guys' first, I would say, couple Instagram shot across the bow.
Yes.
2 pairs of You guys got matching Jordans. You had 5s also.
I believe we entitled the Instagram "Jordans Be Flirtin'."
Jordans be flirtin'.
It was her grape 5s and my cement 1, or maybe my true blue 3s is kind of like next to.
And it was like, guess what, guys? These 2 are in a couple.
Right. Wow. But here's the downside to that, Nick and Kevin. Yeah. So you lace your girl up, you put her on the Jordans, you kind of, hey, this is like a part of culture. You should embrace. I'm not saying wear them every day, but have a pair or 2.
Yeah.
And then she wears them out one day. And then all that is a smoke signal for dudes to stare at your girl, to be like, oh, I mean, I've been walking with her when she's wearing the Chicago 1s, and they're the original Chicago 1s, and like guys catcall her she's a very pretty girl. I'm not even saying she's my girl. Like, you notice her, she's cute, she's beautiful, and then they see the sneakers, and while I'm walking with her hand in hand, they don't give a fuck. Fuck, oh shit, look at that. You're like just screaming at her. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna get into a fight over this.
Wow.
It's sonar.
Have you gotten your lady a pair of Jordans?
She doesn't
Kevin?
love sneakers
at all.
No,
you got to change
ever.
You know how she's probably trying to change you right now because she's a woman. That's what they do. You got to change her a little bit. You got to get her into some sneakers.
She's not trying. You know, it's the only thing she's trying to do is make my house cleaner, which is valid.
Does she work out?
Bad.
Yes.
What does she wear when she works?
She wears Nike runners, like Nike running shoes, like the ones black with the white sole, like simple
generic running. Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about Air Max.
Oh, fuck.
I got a few pairs of those.
Do you? Oh, yeah, you do.
Air Max, I'm obsessed with
I have
Air Max.
denim ones, yellow and black ones.
I have a whole set. Infrared Air Max.
I can't remember the other ones.
That's I took my friend Cassandra because she had a new job in a writer's room, and I was like, get cool sneakers. Everyone will think you're cool. And she got Air Max.
They're pretty good.
That thing again.
No, the Air Max had a huge Air Max.
You can get them at Foot Locker. She got the pink, black, and white.
I've always loved them because I am a shorter gentleman. Air Max give you a little boost. There's a little heel. If you really look, there's a little heel to an Air Max. I got about another half an inch of height. I propelled a 5'7.5" on with Air Max.
Right,
that's funny.
Nick don't have that problem.
No,
I don't think Jordans would work for my girl. I think high top Vans would.
Fuck you.
Was so good.
Just get her a pair of Jordans, man.
Yeah, there's a different look to that, like a high top Vans versus
It's
pair of
summer.
Nikes.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a little like sportier and kind of like a girl would just look more fun in a pair of Nikes instead of like Vans for some reason.
See, I disagree. I think it's just different kind of fun. Like a cool pair of high top Vans, I'm
saying like sportier fun.
Well, yeah, sporty. Like
Vans is like you're chill, you're laid back, you're cool.
One's like more indie rock, one's like more sporty.
Remember when I bought the pair of like denim Vans and realized that you can't wear them with any jean ever?
Yeah,
I didn't even, like.
Canadian
I just saw a pair of denim Vans. I'm like, these are fucking kind of great. I love them, and I bought them. And I'm just not a shorts guy. Like I'm like I wear like basketball shorts, obviously, but I don't have any kind of like short to wear to like a day party. I've just never had.
Man, I tried to force Vans on you so hard it did not stick.
It didn't take.
You own zero Vans?
No, I have
like 4 pair.
I have like 4 pair of Vans.
Wear them twice.
I wear them twice a year. I can be like, these white Vans. I haven't worn them in a while.
Yeah, I tried to force them on you. It didn't stick.
It didn't take. You've done wonders with me on certain things. But,
Are you back with Air Force Ones at all?
No. Really? Well, because I was told, and this is an awful thing I was told, and I didn't even know this, but while in like the height of Entourage and some of my heavier days when I was above the 2 bills category, right around the time SBs became really popular again, like the SB resurgence, the dunk, you know, someone from like Hot Rod in Westwood came and was like, "Oh, we want to gift you these pair." Like by gifting, I wore them on the show,
right?
So I earned those. And then one of the other people there was like, "Yeah, you gotta stop at the Air Force Ones. Those are fat kid shoes."
Yeah,
I was like, "What? What are you fuck you talking about?"
But I mean,
look around Air Force, like that they were dubbed at some point fat chubby kid shoe.
Is that because of Fat Joe?
I have no idea if that's even true.
Nelly fucking isn't fat.
The person
it
who
is my
said
Air Force One song.
I'm going to look that up right now.
No. The person who said that to me, who will remain nameless, just spit some bull. That's like his view. That wasn't like a pop culture view. But at the time, I didn't know any better than this guy. And by the way, the SBs I got handed were amazing. It shows how impressionable I am.
Although it is very easy to picture a overweight East Coast type hip hop dude.
Jean. Well, they look good in baggy jeans.
Jean shorts, very big jean shorts with white Air Force Ones.
Jean shorts, white Air Force Ones. Air Force Ones, because they're wide, look good with baggier jeans as well.
Right.
Jordans don't look the best with baggy jeans, and SBs actually do too, but that was like more like skinny skater baggy jeans.
There's nothing on here about fat kid Air Force One.
I call that spitting the bean, which means you're bullshitting, and I fell for it.
Yeah,
Hot Rod's a great store, by the way.
Hot Rod, I haven't been there in a while.
I get all my Vans from there.
Hot Rod Westwood is right by the Fat Sal. Like when Fat Sal's first opened up, I would go over there and like we were still figuring it out, and I would eat and I'd like be waiting for Sal or Josh to come by, and then just go to Hot Rod and fucking kick it.
Yeah, it's a cool shop.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one Jordan that you could only wear for the rest of your life, what would it be?
That's a hard question.
And the color scheme too, include
it's
that.
like asking me to pick between children.
Yeah. How about this? I'll give you 2 color schemes of the same model.
All right, look,
the pick is obvious.
But there's definitely a cooler answer. But if that were, I'm just taking that as literal as possible. If you're telling me that is fact for the rest of my life, that is it.
Yeah.
It's white cement threes and black cement threes.
I'd say I knew you were
and that's it.
that.
But there are way cooler, like in terms of like, there are a lot cooler ways to go.
I almost think you can.
I love Laney fives are fucking amazing. Which
I almost
see
think
me
you
wear
can go white and black, 3 4s or 5s, because they all. Although the thing is, for me, ones I don't wear the kind of pants I wear. Ones. Like my pants will fit over the top of ones,
right? Which is still a good look. It's not bad.
I don't do the jeans into the tongue thing.
It's a tough thing to pull up. I still haven't mastered it all the time. Like I like it. You could do it with 3s and 5s easily, like because the tongue is so dominant.
Yeah,
that it's not that distracting. But ones.
That's why I never wore my 3s.
Have some skinny
11s like
that.
this, like 11s. The tongue goes over, like your jeans could go over pretty well, and they still look like a cool shoe.
Yeah.
I go look.
The more I look at those, the cooler they are.
By the way, you're gonna have
like they're a little spacey.
Be careful.
Now
You're
they're,
wearing
like,
raw
cool.
denim. They will leave a blue ring around the top.
I told you I'm not going to be precious about
Okay,
them.
Yeah.
I can't be precious about them because I'll turn into Psycho
Plus,
Jerry.
the blue will just match the shoe.
Yeah, I guess.
The denim will like.
So you go
know.
threes, white and black.
Right, like that. Like if I'm taking that in the literal sense and
Yeah.
not being creative at all, I would go that direction. But
The back, it's that
'Cause they'll
gray.
go with
It's that
everything,
gray
yeah.
rubber piece in the back where it says Nike Air.
you know what the best? And Nick, if you want to Google this just to see,
Yeah.
like what I think is a very good shoe to wear, like just in terms of like you could dress up a little bit and wear them and still be like no one will think you're a child by seeing that you're wearing sneakers. Is Green Glow 4s. You could wear Green Glow 4s as like an accessory to a dope button down, rolled up sleeves, a nice watch, a nice pair of fucking jeans, and like it's like they actually are like a conversation piece. They're pretty rare.
Jordans
those
have
are cool
become
as fuck.
They're
Jordans have
Green Glows are
those.
fucking cool.
they become kind
I'd
of an
wear those.
acceptable thing to wear. I mean, they're very popular right now. I notice with agents, like young agents type dudes,
Yes.
young Hollywood people, like a
The X, what is it? Generation X? What are we?
no,
X?
they're Y.
They're Y.
You and I are X, so you're talking people that would be Generation Y to wear with like a button down and a fucking nice jeans, and then you have respectable Jordans.
Basically, my outfit for any business meeting I have is
Yeah.
Also, comedians. There's like alternative comedians have begun to
Really?
fetishize
'Cause I always
sneakers.
check out sneakers of every comedian on stage, and I'm yet to like see
Air Maxes, I've noticed,
Air
are very
Max I see a
popular.
lot. I never see Jordans. I see Air Max
Air
a
Max
lot.
is
I've seen
huge.
Huaraches a couple of times.
I see Jordan 1s a lot on comics.
You know who owns a ton of Air Maxes? D'Elia, Chris D'Elia.
Yeah.
He owns a shit.
Lee is a big
them.
sneakerhead. He has a lot of Jordan 1s too.
Yeah, he's big on. He'll find like two types of shoes he likes, and then just get 50 of each.
I think Kevin, you need to go buy a pair of. Just get some. I think you get Chicago ones. Start there, Nick. I see Green Glows in your
Chicago
future.
1s,
I would
didn't
wear
find-
those.
I didn't find any Chicago 1s for less than like $400.
I have the only pair I have now are I think they're 5s, right? The Jordans, the White Sox ones.
No, those are Jordan 1s White Sox edition.
No, they're not ones.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I
Yeah.
think they're 1s.
I don't think so. Let me look.
They're
it
the
up.
one shape. 5s, the 5s are a completely different shape.
Jordan.
They're the
what
pin.
was it?
Remember they had the pinstripes on them.
Yeah, those are ones I believe.
They're 1s, yeah.
Jordans, White Sox.
See, I looked for Chicago 5s, and they were all just like too high. I didn't want to spend that
Well,
much.
I was going to bring you a pair just to try on too, because like
Right.
I said, like the tongue.
Oh, of the 5s.
I was going to actually give you like hang on to these, wear them, see
Yeah.
if you like them. I think I have a couple of 10s, like just to. I don't know if that's the right shoe for you. That's a big,
Oh, yeah,
bulky
they are.
fucking
I'm
Jordan.
not sure my pants will fit over the tongue of the 5.
They won't. They won't.
Yeah, they totally
They
are.
definitely. You got it. You are 1s, 3s, 10s, 11s.
I'm only going to go 1 or 3. What about 2s? Are 2s really bulky?
I just 2s went over
You
my
don't
head.
like 4s and
2s are a
5s?
weird choice. That's kind of why I like them.
2s are the Milgauss of Jordans, bro. I'm serious. Like, I don't know if they sold, and I think they actually did sell back in the day, but I just wasn't. They don't look like Jordans to me. I don't know why. Something and
That's a part of me likes them is they're like this weird anomaly Jordan.
Yeah.
They're cool, and they say Air Jordan on them.
So you don't like 4s and 5s at all?
No, I do. I love them.
I love four. See, that's what I mean.
3,
Fours are
4, and 5 are fucking.
fours are
perfect.
much more like
Yeah.
my generation of. Like, I think the first Jordan I ever played in were 4s.
Yeah, I've said this
red
before
4s.
on the podcast. One of the reasons the Jordan 1 means so much to me is half the Bones Brigade wears them in the movie. And, I mean, Tommy Guerrero, Steve Caballero, Lance Mountain. I believe Mike McGill. I don't know what kind of shoes Tony Hawk's wearing.
How are we not going to go sneaker shopping after this podcast, guys? Like,
We can discuss
I'll
it.
go.
I don't know if I see a way around it.
I will totally go.
I wanted to mention Airwalks just briefly because that was a shoe I fetishized.
Oh yeah,
too.
those were cool.
Tony Hawk had a pair of white Airwalks with a big Velcro strap, and my dad wouldn't buy them for me because they were $50. And I wanted them so bad. They were so weird looking. They were so cool. Those were great. And then I got a pair of Vision sneakers that were great. Not the skinny high top ones. They made like a bulky one that was like an Airwalk. They were important. But like I fetishized half cabs, Jordan 1s, those white Airwalks that Tony Hawk had. After that, I had a pair of Karl Kani boots. Those were cool to me. Those were cool to me. And then, but then from then, as far as sneakers goes, then
Did you
it's
ever fuck with
Vans.
Timberlands?
No, that was not a West Coast thing, really.
At all. Yeah, because that's like a new East Coast.
Carl
winter.
Kanai-
No, it was just not
Like
where
a
we grew up.
Carhartt and some Timberlands.
Nah, that was
They had
not.
that Timberland
Coast.
store in the mall where you just see like dudes walking out like
Yeah.
with these
For junior
huge,
prom, I
chunky-
got a suit, and my mom bought me
Capezios.
Carl Kanai boots because I didn't want to wear like dress shoes. So my suit pants fit over Carl Kanai brown leather boots, and I was about as cool as I could get in my mind because they had a big like metal plate that said Carl Kanai on the side.
I recently tried. I have
Big Daddy Kane wore them.
I had a pair of Green Bean 5s, Jordan Green, which are a very cool sneaker, and I was but they got beat up, and I'm like, you know what? They were kind of light. I'm like, I'm gonna try and play in them.
Right.
It's like wearing fucking ankle weights. It's like how Michael Jordan was able to defy gravity.
Well, you know what I love now of the new ones because that's the thing. Sneakers are so much lighter
They're
now.
So like by like 70%.
The KDs, the KD2.
Well, now you're talking to like the whole, and again, this is like me trying not to be
those.
grandpa. Like you love the easy money KDs that I have.
Yeah,
with the
I
strap.
fucking love those shoes. They're
There's-
so cool looking.
There's something about my and I play
Space
basketball 2-3 times a week, and I it was so weird. Kobe Bryant introduced like the low tops into the game, and then they
Yeah.
were followed by the CP3s, and then Durant. And I was so scared for so long to wear low tops playing hoops. It just seems scientifically
You're gonna break your ankle.
incorrect.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I sprained my ankle bad wearing like high top LeBrons, like and it did nothing for me. I said, "Fuck it." So when I healed up, I started wearing Kobe's. I mean, they weigh an ounce.
Yeah.
I ran faster, jumped. I was definitely more athletic. We're of course talking limited athleticism at 35 years old. And then I started wearing Durant's. Like now I'm only low tops when I play. Like I'll occasionally wear. I have like a pair of high top Carmelos, which I don't love because they're on high tops now are uncomfortable to play basketball in for me.
Right.
Like it's Kobe's, it's Durant's, it's CP3's. Is the only thing because I just like the low to mid level.
I have no idea how I would wear Durant's because like you kind of can't wear them with pants.
The strap makes it real difficult, like
Yeah.
real weird. It's
And the
such a
way the
dominating
back
part.
puffs out is weird, but like I saw a guy at the gym wearing with shorts, and they're just so ridiculous looking. They're great to me.
Yep.
And some of the color schemes are great.
Kevin, let's go. You got dough, bro. Come on, man. Who sponsors this podcast? I know it's not Shoe Palace. We should get Shoe Palace to
no
sponsor this
shit.
podcast for a free pair of Jordans. You give
Yeah.
us a pair of Jordans, you guys will run ads for the month of August. How would you do that?
We'll do 2 months for Jordans. Come on,
Yeah, I would do 2 months for a pair.
easily.
Let's go shopping, girl.
Call Shoe Palace. Do your thing.
Yeah.
We're coming over.
So hard. Because sneakers
can't not go now.
they trigger the child, the kid in your heart.
For sure.
I could buy a pair of sneakers, and also we're in a sneaker renaissance because you can buy every pair you've ever had and all these new crazy pairs.
And
So
you could restore pairs.
I
too,
could buy
which is
a new
crazy.
pair
I
of
didn't even
sneakers
know
every
that.
single day and find a cool pair every day.
The restoration part of the sneaker game.
Vans are great.
is-
I'm excited about that.
That's like probably the coolest thing.
Keep, my friend's company, makes great sneakers. There's so many great sneakers in the world.
Yeah, I want to get mine restored to like new.
You could do it
'Cause
easily.
I just it
And
took me a few
affordably,
minutes, but I
easily.
found the picture of like the brand new, the White Sox ones, and I'm like, they're so bright.
They're ones,
white.
though, right?
Yeah, they are ones. Yeah.
I want to.
It makes me
part of
realize how
me-
long it's been since I've even like I hid them away because I was like, I don't want to wear them anymore. They're my first ones, my only ones. I put them in a box and just hid them, and I like forgot what they looked
That's
like.
the
but
best.
seeing them brand new, it's like I got to get them to look like that again.
I think I sort of clowned sneakerheads in my mind for a little while. It's just like that's lame and the lining up. But now there's something about it that's like sweet and like it's sort of like it's like harmless. Really, no one's really getting killed for them anymore.
Because you're like, it's a thing you're into. It's
and
like,
it's not
cool.
super expensive. It's just like they're just shoes.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like cool.
it can be when you
They
like
mean
try and
something,
buy
man.
the
I'm
ones
telling
that
you,
aren't
those-
available on
and
eBay.
I keep calling them kids, but they're not kids. You know, those young guys at the party were just like. Do you hear them speak about it? It's almost like wow, if you put that much effort into other things in your life, you're going to be all right.
But that's the thing, it is
expert
art.
knowledge.
It is art.
Expert knowledge.
It is design. It is like learning. It's the ability to go out and do research. You're right. You're saying like these dudes are going to be all right.
Like if you went to Florence, Italy, and went to go study art in the same way you study sneakers, like you could be an art major. Like you could learn a lot about Renaissance art.
Well, that's just in the same way. Lots of famous graffiti artists became great artists or great designers and stuff. It's the ability to be passionate and get fired up about something. So
yeah, to know what's good.
Oh, graffiti, shit.
That could be a whole other thing.
That could be a whole other thing, but wearing Jordans while doing graffiti?
Quickly about graffiti, the famous West Coast graffiti artist Risk just put out a really good book, so go buy that.
You know about Fuzz One?
No, I don't know about Fuzz One.
Famous, like, graffiti artists in the Bronx. It's a great book I'll give you about.
Okay. From Bronx or New York people, Lee is a big one. That's the one I know of.
That's why I did. Look, I'm not trying to, like, I really do feel like the coolest part of America is like the differences in culture from East Coast to West Coast.
Yeah,
like, it really is
two different worlds.
Well, the famous graffiti artists here are different. You know, the famous graffiti artists here are Mir, Skate, Hex was big, Risk, the Seventh Letter Crew, those guys, and you know that. But then you go up to San Francisco and you get Barry McGee. Shepard Fairey kind of transcends different coasts, but yeah, it's I kind of like that where it's each area has their famous people.
All right, I really think
OTR crew.
I think both of you need to, in the relatively near future, buy yourself a pair of Jordans. Kevin, specifically,
you really
need to, only because you've been a hypocrite all this time. Now I think you owe it to Nike and Jordan. And
I don't know Nike shit.
You owe yourself something.
I'm turning him back into a hypocrite.
No, I don't know Nike shit. Okay.
Hey, come see my friend Neil Brennan's Nike commercials. They're super funny. And also, I don't support Nike at all.
No. I support Nike's the choice in TV directors. I like
right now you're starting to backslide a little bit. Get back to where you were last week.
I like giant shit bag.
I've told you what I like about Nike. I like that they were the first major company to put a black athlete as the face of their company. I like that they pay skateboarders a lot of money. I like that they hire Neil. And they hire good designers.
Yeah, you like their shoes. Just say that.
Nah.
We just spent 90 minutes talking about their incredible designs, and now you're like, yeah, they're whatever.
You should get a pair for your girl.
I don't think she'd wear them.
I think she'd wear them if they came from you.
I think she'd wear them like once, and then I'd see them in her house a lot.
Get her a pair of black cement
But you know what?
ones.
If she's into comfortable shoes, she'll wear them more. Because they are fucking comfortable.
Okay, but women will thwart comfort for the sake of look. I mean, they wear high heels.
That's what I mean, but maybe she wants a break every now and then.
No, she has other shoes that she doesn't wear, that she wears to be comfortable that aren't. She has like Converse All-Stars.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right down the street. That's right around the corner.
Not from Air Jordans. It's not.
For comfortable. There's some girls that just don't wear sneakers.
Wait, I'm snoring.
No, yeah, there are.
She said Converse All-Stars and I fell asleep.
Yeah. But I think the next step for her would be like Vans. I don't think she'd do Jordans.
Cultural differences.
Yeah. Where's she from again?
She's from here. She could do high tops because she has long legs. So there's not like a risk of like, they'll make me look short.
Get her a pair of Chicago ones.
I'd say get over the fear of like, she might not, and just go for it. Just
You're
be
just scared dudes are going to look at her on the street.
Yeah.
Dudes already
snatch her away from you.
All right.
We're going.
Did I do okay?
Shopping. You did great, dude. The passion.
I knew you would completely flip out, and it would just be sneaker name bar.
It's awesome.
This makes me feel like a herb. Throwback to an earlier part of the episode. Herb.
I'm gonna get a pair of high tops and lace them up way too tight, like a herb.
Look at this fucking herb over here. Look at his fucking sneakers, bro. Look at this fucking you're fucking choking the shit out of the fucking sneakers, you fucking herb.
Well, because
I may have said that exact dialogue at one point 25 years ago.
When you lace up sneakers too tight and then there's a little dirt involved, you get those weird marks right by the holes. You get those fucking lines on the outside of the lace.
Was your accent that heavy when you moved out here?
It was what? You know what's happened to me? It's bizarre and ironic. I've lived in LA for 15 years. I now have a fake New York accent.
Because there's a little bit in there when you talk now. But when you were doing that impression, I was like, wow.
It takes work to do that, and I don't know if it's 100% accurate anymore.
Oh, wow. You've been working on your non-regional diction.
My non-regional diction.
Like Christina Applegate.
No, I mean, it's still there with certain words, and like when I get heated, but like having my friend here from Brooklyn, like it's not sneakers. first. Sneakers.
But when you get mad,
feels
like
so
if you're yelling at your girl, like, we don't have the money.
No, it's like, babe, no, honestly, I don't really want to go to that restaurant tonight because I just don't want to eat there. I said I don't want to fucking go have dinner over there. Like, it comes back.
Yeah, all the R's disappear.
Oh, man. And my mom's something special. Her accent's something special. It's so, I like make fun of her now and I actually start to feel bad. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
hers is something special.
It's nice.
Turlet? It's turlet. Terloit. Turlet. Yeah, the turlet's not working.
That's fucking
You want to close with that one?
The turlet is not working.
The turlet's no. That's the name of the episode.
Dude.
All right. Thanks again for doing this, dude.
Anytime. I'm a big fan of the Occasionally Awesome podcast.
And we're a big fan of you being our Dynasty guest. All right?
That's the closer right there.
Boom!
Three-peat.
I finally get a star on some walk of fame in my own right.
Yeah.
Fuck Nike.
We're not ending with that. We're ending with Kevin's getting a pair of Jordans whether he
You
likes
get the
it or
swoosh
not.
tattooed on your tricep.
Oh, yeah.
I like when people get the swoosh tattooed on their foot as a joke. That's funny.
That actually is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week. 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 See you guys next week.